Big reports tonight, Mike.
Huge reports tonight.
A lot of big reports.
Ouster reports tonight. Welcome everybody here. Let's got the market's trending down, obviously, if you've been paying any attention. As it seems like, I don't know, it's a we sell the pops kind of market lately. So NASDAQ went red, ES went red. Both of them, what am I hearing in my ear? Oh, there's an ad playing. ES went red. After a nice bounce early in the day, the quantum event ends up being, well, let's just call it potentially a dud. I don't want to call it a complete dud, but you've been selling off here. Like QBTS now down 15%.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
15%.
Okay, sick. Thanks.
On this. And I think this is the worst one of the entire group. So yeah, not a very good day for the quantum names. Sell the news because that's what the market tends to always do.
Yeah, there's
lately.
Yeah, that's fun. Okay, we'll show that. Thanks.
Oh, you found it.
Yeah, Rob did.
What's jokes about it is that.
Hold on.
I thought I had it. I thought I had one too, but I couldn't find it. You guys have no idea what we're talking about. You'll find out in a second.
Oh, 1 2 1 2.
Check 1, check 2, rump shaker. But I was gonna eat my cookie. I was like, so our caterer today, the sandwiches, I didn't have one, but there was like chicken salad on our salad, but they had these macadamia nut cookies, which are delicious. And I'm saying are delicious because I already had one, and I'm gonna have a second one because that's how I roll. QBTS just broke $9. It's going lower. The market is going lower. I'm in an Nvidia short, which is not going lower. It's kind of flat. Tesla's going lower. Intel finally. Oops, Intel's not a New York stock. All right, give me a second. There you go. Intel finally working cleanly after it happens. Sometimes I bungled Intel this morning. I'm going to knock on wood because I don't want to jinx it. I was able to get it back, but only by later in the day being patient with
that wood.
That's the best way to think about it. Later in the day being patient with it.
Oh, baby.
Tesla broke a day-long trend. I waited till it got into the trend and has now broken it, but it just tagged VWAP, the volume-weighted average price, which apparently I say a lot of. And we're going to do probably a lot of talking about VWAP this afternoon as well when I look at all the charts that I am watching here. So looks like it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be, well, no one's ever heard of it. And it's going to be a wild aftermarket show, I do think.
It'll be a show. Yeah, look, so here we go, man. Tesla, let's go right now, man. We're trying to we're trying to support this stock to the short side all day. We've gotten stopped out a couple times as we sit here, but at the end of the day, man, yes, this has been quite the ride, man. I'm happy to have been on it all day, and here we go, man. Tesla now $2 in the money. We just tried to support that tried to break through 237. We sat there and said nepa to that one. We also traded Palantir. We've traded 3 names today, guys, and so here we go again with Palantir. That was the newest position there. We had that. I just heard Sharif talk about government spending and potentially some cuts there. Pete Hegseth saying that there was going to be some cuts to government spending on some, on some of that government spending there for the software or something like that. So I was like, I don't know. I like the name. We'll see what ends up happening right there. So we went long. We let it dip down right there. Boom, 86.50. Let's go. Some nice trading there. But at the end of the day, we'll wait and see if we can get better high. We're actually out of 60% of this trade already. And then Tesla, boom. Goes a dynamite there, and then Intel. I mean, this is the definition of believing in something, in my opinion, anyways. Like, we sit here on this name and really just do a number to it all day, going short, sticking with it early, and then getting out at some nice levels. We're right here, right now. Let's see if this wants to break here into the close. So, yeah, man, we're definitely pretty excited about that right now.
I've got to address something here.
And the thing is that
go and do that first.
I want to say, this is when we were doing that Pulp Fiction a couple of years ago here, when we were looking for that Royale with cheese, and someone had mentioned it earlier on in the day. There's actually another picture with us. Rob found this.
That's my real hair, by the way.
This is when Neil had hair, and me too. Actually, so yeah.
Well, of course.
You should regrow that stash. I mean, the stash with the beard is what it's all about.
I probably should.
Yeah, everyone was surprised that day when I was actually shaved. But there's another picture.
That's the commitment level to it, right? Like it's got to go all in,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So we actually have another picture in the green screen.
That's the one that I was thinking.
I tweeted that out. So I'm going to try to find that. It's where they're in the apartment.
Yes.
It's like one of the first.
Where they
second
shot the.
scenes.
Oh no, they shoot Phil Lamar in the car. They shoot the other guy.
Right. I don't know. You know the names. Congrats.
No, I only know Phil Lamar, the guy that shot in the car, because he was on Mad TV.
Right.
He's one of the original cast members.
I'm not even in the chat right here.
I am in the chat. Oh, there was. I wanted to address something in the chat. I didn't catch the name, but I saw you say, "How come the dashboard shows the positions, but the outs they don't show any of the take profits?"
Right.
So the dashboard where you see our positions on More Trader TV Live, historically, most of the time. I don't know the percentage-wise. Most of the time, the positions are correct. If we're short something, we're short it.
That's true.
But it's never really worked at showing our take profits. It'll show like the last trades. Usually, there'll be an execution at the time it says, but it doesn't get those right. So only the positions are correct on that. They've been working on it. So yeah, you just pay it. You can use that for sure to track what the positions are, just not necessarily the fills. A couple of things. A bit of a VWAP bounce on Tesla, I almost said Intel, and Nvidia bouncing into VWAP. So Tesla's bouncing off of VWAP and Nvidia bouncing into VWAP. If we break out VWAP, maybe I should go back to going long in NVDA. The NASDAQ is under, making lower highs. So I'm kind of the whole afternoon fade thing still going to stick with till proven otherwise. And I know the symbols, I have a good feeling that the symbols you guys are going to ask to talk about are pretty much the ones that we are trading. So at least two of them for sure. Like Nvidia and Tesla, I promise you, are going to be usually like 1 and 2, and then sometimes you guys surprise us with what else you wanted to talk about. So let's go over to Sharif.
Oh, already?
I don't know, he seems ready.
Yeah. All right, let's roll.
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys ready to go, locked and loaded, and ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But only way to get them up there is to join us during the midday show, how to trade, and get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers. But you've got to be a subscriber. So make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing. Here's a look at the triple Qs. Well, it's between the triple Qs right now and the Russell as to which one of the major averages is the worst off. It's 0.38 for the triple Qs, 0.28 in the red for the ES, 0.1 for the Dow, and 0.47, about 0.5% in the negative for the Russell 2000. The first ticker, though, no surprise here, Nvidia, Quantum Day. Currently, Nvidia, it's positive, up 1%. Got a couple of headlines here, Nvidia specific. D.A. Davidson maintaining neutral on Nvidia, but lowering the price target to 125 from 135. Separately, we got this during the midday show. Nvidia to open up a quantum computing research lab in Boston, says Jensen Huang. We'll have to see if we get more details on that.
So they're gonna spend on quantum. Oddly enough, after that headline, the quantum names they tanked, which we already showed you. Like, it was sell the news event. I didn't really hear anything. Like you couldn't watch the event or anything like that, but I didn't really hear anything coming from like Twitter or in our ear that was all that interesting outside of Nvidia spending money on it. That said, for Nvidia, it held VWAP all morning long to then lose it at midday. Didn't reverse it short there. Obviously should have. Hindsight being 2020. But I'm shorted off VWAP right now. If it breaks out, I usually favor. I don't know. It feels like it's been a sell the afternoon kind of event. So I feel like if it gets to 120, that's going to be a sell. I don't want to reverse this one into the long side because the market doesn't look very strong to me. I'm just going to get out if we bust VWAP here. But
245.
We'll talk about the quantum names if they do something positive. But they all got rinsed today. 15% for QBTS. I think it was double digits for Rigetti. I didn't check on Q. Yeah, Rigetti actually now SSR. I might keep an eye on this. It's only now SSR. I was like scalping short on Rigetti at VWAP, and it broke out, double topped, kind of a range bound trade, but then it did it again, came right back in. So all of these are just getting punked. I wouldn't be surprised if you retest some of that prior support on these quantum names. Now that this event is come and gone, it's hard to imagine there's going to be a bid in the short term until it gets down to the levels that people are comfortable with. Like Rigetti was at like around $5-6, and You can probably pull up QBTS and find the same levels and Ion Q or whatever. But I just feel like a little bit of wind out of the sails of those names.
Yeah, look. So we had QBTS written down. We don't have any quantum plays today. I wasn't here when this was happening. And then here it is, right here. QBTS 9 to 925 long. So basically, we can have a look at that. I don't have any trades on that today, but if we're gonna look at it right here, here's QBTS. It falls right in like. There's 925. If you took that bid at $9, you made 50 cents. So that's a fail for me. I don't have it. Great call there, right back to the 50-period moving average and then rec side. So look, man, if you take that 9 long, that's a winning trade, and then you get out if it breaks 9, or you don't, and you just wait for that 50-period moving average. But at the end of the day, it's continuously to the downside. So we nailed the level, but we don't have the trade. And honestly, if you kept on averaging into it, you would have been crushed. So there it goes, man. QBTS to the downside. I did not trade any Nvidia today. I only traded 3 names, Intel, Palantir, and Tesla. And I think we'll probably talk about all of those. But if we're going to look at Nvidia just real quick, man, I really like the name, as you guys know. This looks like the new level. 114 to 115 has been the level before. Now it looks like yesterday we bounced off of that 116.50 early on in the morning. Now it looks like we're trying to hold 118. I don't really... Like, if you're going to try to play this AI revolution, which I don't know if it's Dance Dance revolution or not, but we're at some point. You like that game, Joe, or no? Yeah. It's not bad, man. I don't know. That wasn't around when we were playing games. Like, I'm all about that GoldenEye life. Okay.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
Marissa and my son went to an arcade there, and there was... they were just killing time, and they were doing some Dance Dance Revolution.
This is a bit of a segue. There was a video. I think it was probably originally on TikTok, but then I saw it on YouTube Shorts of a dad, and he's just like he's about to play GoldenEye with his son, and the whole time he's like, you don't know what you're up against here. Like,
and his son kills.
He's just talking. They don't show him playing, but like he's probably our age, and he's talking so much smack to the kid. I'm like, oh, that's how I'd feel if my daughter had to play a game I was good at, like when she plays Mario Kart versus me. Anything else, she'll build something in Roblox. Do this, do that. I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, like back in the day, I always say that. Like nowadays, my kid would just, he'd probably play GoldenEye for the first time, and I would just be like, I'd be done. They would, the sniping and the hand-eye coordination.
I'm not. Yeah,
for sure.
I don't have those skills.
My kids are nuts.
Not the same.
I'm not even sure what game they're playing these days, but it's something. Anyways, my kid is watching One Piece. I had no idea that there was 1,400 episodes of One Piece. So he's on episode like 200.
No, 1,400.
Yeah. That's what you call a franchise. Look it up, man. One Piece. 4th best-selling book series of all time in the history of book series. This is from.
Look, I mean, I didn't know that, so.
I know, neither did I. That's why I'm,
But
the more you know.
1,400 episodes? That's like.
Yeah. And they're each 20, 25 minutes long. I'm like, bro, do you know how many like other things you could be doing instead of watching all of those episodes?
I thought I wasted a lot of time.
He's like, my friends have watched them all. I'm like,
Game of Thrones.
You did waste time watching that, but
it's a great show.
Yeah, I know. I'm just playing around. I've never seen it.
14.
1,400 episodes, 1,300 episodes, I think.
Somebody's rich.
Yeah, a lot of people making a lot of money. Oh, Fabian's all caught up, and he wanting more. So there you go. All right, that's enough One Piece talk. I did watch the live action though on Netflix. I thought it was pretty good. Monkey Luffy. Or was it the other way around? Monkey D. Luffy. Yeah, Neil, don't worry. You're too old for it. Okay, let's go back over to Sharif.
So am I, because I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Tesla, guys, down 0.5%. Several headlines today. Elon Musk's Tesla recalls over 46,000 Cybertrucks as a result of one of the stainless steel panels possibly coming loose during driving. Bit of a risk there. Piper Sandler maintaining their overweight rating on Tesla, but dropping the price target from 500 to 450. Didn't matter though to Wed Bush, Danny Ives and crew reiterating their outperform on Tesla and maintaining that $50 price target. Want to give you a little bit of information here. Tesla doesn't release the amount of Cybertrucks sold, but guesses are that most sold Cybertrucks are suffering from this panel defect. So 46,000 could possibly be close to the number actually delivered. Guys.
We love Tesla today. Tesla, we've loved it a long time. And I mean, right now, all of these ticks are short. It's short. Every purple is short. Short, short, short. We got blown out early, which kind of sucked because we did have a bigger position, our biggest one here at 10 o'clock when it broke through the day's pre-market high of 236 and change. So we held that. We were pretty stubborn with it, but at the end of the day, I only have 3 trades on. Palantir right now is $1 in the money. Intel is the largest P&L name on the board here today. So that's a good one. And then Tesla, trying to put this on the board here today, but we just have a couple stop outs. And I mean, it's been good, but like there's a stop out rate. I mean, I just don't want to show, like we could show all of these. That's 237.50, that's 230, that's $6.50, right? Like about as true as it could be. I'm here doing laps. I just had bids here. I had a bid at the 200 period, so boom on that one. Then we had a bid at the low of the day, so right there. Then I said, hey man, what about if we get to 230? So I put a bid at 230.50. And then we came back, sat back down around 12:20. We asked Sharif and Joe, yo, what's going on with Tesla? They're like, man, it defended 230. I was like, 230, huh? And then we came back and then we put this bid out right there, again at the low of the pre-market. We get that fill one more time there at 232. And then this is where it got a little spicy. Then we sort of feeling ourselves. It went all the way up to the upside. We started shorting in and around there, which of course, as you can see, is going to be VWAP. So we started shorting VWAP, the 200 period. Then we just got a little carried away. This is where, we can feel that we're losing it because we're just short all the way up. Then it falls right back in, cash, all the way back out. Short again, stopped out of a piece. Then we said, wait a second, some of these highs, we can't stop out till or at least at 237.50. So then we took some more shares. And then as they say, if you have an uncle named Bob, well, Bob's your uncle. And then right now you're back into VWAP. So this is, Neil, a $2 winner, man. We're here to trade this. And we traded 3 names today and all pretty darn successful, but just waiting for Tesla to get to the downside. Will it happen? I hope so. We could have a market move down. We're underneath VWAP right now. We're underneath the 200. I do think that there's possible here for this move down. So let's wait to see.
Well, Tesla's doing something, we'll talk about Palantir next, I guess. Not quite the same thing, because Palantir's low was much earlier in the day, but it broke from that 230 flush, it broke trend, and I was shorting it into VWAP on the way back. It was weak, and it's crazy, because I got green trading Intel more politely, and then went red trading Tesla. And then now I'm back into Tesla when it finally broke the trend line. And as long as it holds, you could call it head and shoulders, but I think it's just a trend break. I want to see this do what the NASDAQ is doing. And we keep talking about the overall market. And, well, not the overall market being a sell, the news type of event, or a sell, the pop type of a thing. Well, it's the same thing with Tesla. Like recently, if it makes a high, gets one of those bounces, the second it shows you resistance at that bounce or underneath it, it's like, okay, well, suddenly you're looking shorts at those types of tops or reversions in the afternoon. The market gets skittish in the afternoon lately, and including Palantir with DOD cuts, which they never last.
Palantir in focus today, midday there, we got Pete Hegseth, new defense secretary, coming in and saying the Pentagon's canceling their HR software contract. Unsure if Palantir supplies them with the software contract or not, or whether this was just an overall story for more cuts at a DOD. Didn't matter though, guys. We sold off on the news, but we're still positive, up 1 1/3.
Yeah, Sean's on. I was short Palantir, and we were in the middle. We were talking about them in the midday when there was that crazy uptrend going. And Palantir, I want to shout out to Brian Shannon because he even tweeted something out and was. I had been talking about the 50 period on Palantir, but he was looking at an anchored VWAP, which was running into resistance while the 50 period was running into resistance and supply up at that high. So it tagged the top once. And then this got interesting because it pulled back, held the trend. So you look at the trend from pretty much the entirety of the day. That's the open bottom. All day long trend line, makes a high, hits the trend line, fails the top, and then breaks the trend and pulls into VWAP. Now, obviously, it looked hella bullish when it bounced off VWAP. It's easy to say, well, why wouldn't you short it when it popped again? Because the market was trending down, and this thing was going ham off of VWAP, so I wasn't thinking short reload. When Palantir bounces off VWAP and goes ham, I'm not really thinking shorting into that, but apparently it would have worked because they got that headline, and now you are, I mean, support came right in at yesterday's close, or just around yesterday's close. So you're still trending back into VWAP. I don't know if this is the one to short at VWAP. I think there's a bunch of names that are looking relatively strong that you can go down to, which I guess, for some reason I thought it'd be quantum. Like, we already talked about quantum. Bitcoin you can put in that category too.
Tesla now $3. It's starting to go to the downside again. So here we go. And I know Neil was talking about Palantir going long, going short. Were you long or short there?
I only shorted it once.
Right. So the other way is me. That's what you're saying. Yeah. So we went long down there at the bottom, and you know, we still do have 40% of this. We're way more in Tesla right now. So as that comes down in, but hey man, just another positive name. Palantir's coming back in. I'm going to take let's take a piece out here as we break below 87. If we can get something, we're at the 50-period moving average. We could have done better at 87.40. That was $1 or so. We're long here, 86.55. Let's see if we get that bump up. I'm waiting at 98. So let's see if we can get that. That's, I don't know. I just randomly put it there. Again, yeah, as Sharif had mentioned, you know, not rocket science really, coming out whenever you're going to get government news, especially when they have so many government contracts, and that's, you know, their main thing, that you're going to get a little bit of negativity here on the name. So I'm not surprised that it gets hit like this. It's still up 1% on the day. The market is down. So relatively strong is Palantir. But in this market drip right now, oh boy. Oh man, Neil, this is really starting to be something else today, man. I mean, here we go. Let's get lower on Tesla. The market's really fading. When we came out to you guys here, I was telling you we're underneath. We like an underneath trade here. And there goes Tesla. Oh yeah, we get that fill right there, baby. That was a good amount of shares that we just got out right there of Tesla. We were bidding 233s and we just grabbed that right there, $3. So good trading there for TSLA. But okay, more to come. Anyways, that's the trade. We'll see what happens. I still like Palantir. It's falling down. If we break $86, I'm gone. That's 50 cents worth of risk. We've already taken that. We're playing with house money. That's the best kind of money to play with, right? So let's just keep on going upside there. We're going to see if we get out now at 87. But really my attention, although
OPP is actually just as good to play with.
Yeah, OPP. Yeah, I definitely like that, man. Shout out to Naughty by Nature. But at the end of the day, man, this is where the trades are. Intel, Palantir, and Tesla. Let's just see where we can go. And these are the three trades for me today. I know, Neil, kind of opposite. I think you've traded like 10 or 12 names. I'm just only on these three, so we're being very, very specific. And I'm not on any quantum names, as people have mentioned, quantum tanking right now. So we'll have to go have a look at quantum. Randy, if you won or no? Okay, but you too bad. I'm sorry. I want you to win, but you won. You got the you won on the roll on the app. So. Boom on that one. It's so funny. The guy now sees me and Randy, and he immediately just looking for the cups, and he's like, "Oh, guys, I only have smalls. I'm still full. We only have smalls." I know, and that's why this is literally still full.
It's not a shot glass.
Anyways, at the end of the day, he's like, "Here you go, guys." And
coffee do you need?
So small coffee there. Yeah. All right, man. I'm getting heated up right now, man. This is I don't know if it's the temperature in here or just these trades, but either way,
we're warm outside for a sweater.
We're setting this place on fire. What's up, Sharif?
Yes, Katina, man. Here we go. It was a sell the news event, or it feels like it today for Bitcoin. We were moving up the last few days in anticipation of today's Blockworks Digital Asset Summit in New York. Donald Trump took, I believe he was live via webcam at around 10:40, and that's really when the news came in, and Bitcoin started selling off aggressively. So there's a chart on IBIT down about 1 2/3, boys.
Yeah, I mean, IBIT really dumped at that moment.
IBIT, schmibit.
Well, what's interesting about it is, I think, now that I'm going to look back, because I think this might have been a happy, yeah, like right when IBIT, so look at that. This is when, I guess, a bunch of stuff rolled over because Palantir came back too. And I hadn't really looked at Bitcoin at the time because I wasn't tracking it, but that's right around the same time after I guess those comments were done, that Bitcoin just started rolling over. And look, we're still at 84,000, so it's not like it's all bad in here. It's going to go to the actual Bitcoin 15-minute chart so you can see. Like, it's not all bad, but back underneath the prior resistance level, it wouldn't, like, we've been saying for a while that I think we're just in a chop zone. Like, you've had, like, how long were we in the range up at the top? And now we've broken into this bottom range, like 90, like low 90s, and we haven't gotten to the low 70s, but that's where I kind of think the bottom will be in this range. And now we're just sitting in it. So anybody if you've been trading this or trying to like swing it, the play was before to buy it in the low 90s and sell when it broke 100, somewhere up there. And now it just feels like let it get down to at least 80 or maybe a little bit lower than that. And when we try to press higher, make sure you take your profit because there's just not much juice to it. You're kind of in this weird pullback range story, which shouldn't surprise anybody. This is what it does most of the time. And then everyone cries about how it's not, oh, no, what's going on? Bitcoin's not going parabolic, wah. And then it breaks out and then it goes sideways again. And it's like, we're screwed. And then it breaks out eventually. But we could be in this for a while. Like the last sideways action was twice as long as this. So we should not be too surprised, let's just say.
Get down. I think, just looking at me, you just looked at the chart of it. There's not enough going on right now. I mean, I thought we had Trump going to be talking more about this. I'm just waiting for something to happen. I mean, IBIT's been straight downside. If you're going to watch the 50-period moving average, maybe that's something tomorrow. It holds it off early, right? And then when it finally breaks it, it just tanks to the downside. Right now in the afternoon, again, I don't know, barring any news, I won't even be looking over here. I think that it's going to be exciting to look at names like Ripple with the news. And we had Nimit talking about that earlier as well. Shout out to you, my good friend Nimit from Singapore. Just over the last little while, let's go upside so we can see the big guys here. There's Bitcoin. So in the last 24 hours, not much to talk about, right? Down, but not much there. 2.3% for Ripple. Cardano's still chilling at 70 cents. Obi's Dogecoin there at 16 cents right now. The only thing that seems to be stable these days is Tether. Of course, that's just
if it ever wasn't, we'd have a problem.
stable coin. I don't know. Okay, so we're what just happened to Palantir? Did we just get out of a piece there? Did it go down? Okay, so Palantir just went back to the upside. I was like, oh my God, it's going to the down. I didn't realize we got filled there. So there's our 86.97 as we talked about. I'm getting a little nervous here. I am going to reload Palantir at 25s, 86.25, giving us 25 cents worth of room. That's what I thought filled, but it was actually that fill right there. We got it about 5 minutes ago. So thanks, Palantir, for that little bump up right there. And by the way, oh boy, now, here we go. This is what we're talking about. We just said $2.50, now $3.50. Tesla ramping up to the downside. You guys want to know where the bids are? Nowhere to be found. We don't have any bids out right now. I'm going to wait for the low of the day, Sharif. Let's see if we can get into 231. We've done it before. We're doing it again. We do it all the time on the show. So again, man, 3 names for me today. Let's see if we can just kick it off. We'll be all right. Palantir coming back in. That reloads a little bit lower. Intel, the number 1 P&L name of the day, is about to come through. So let's go. Props up to everybody who's on Intel with me. Let's go.
And Intel, a negative day today, down 1.43. The interesting thing is it's yet another, series in the saga of Intel and this consortium that apparently is going to buy them out. Jensen coming out yesterday saying Nvidia is not interested at all in taking over their foundry business, basically shutting down the rumors, and said nobody invited us to a consortium, guys. Intel down 1.4.
Oh, Nvidia as well. I thought it was only TSM that said no, we're not interested. Apparently nobody's interested. So if they can't divest, then that was one way that they were looking, I suppose, at generating a little bit of extra flow for them. Well, I'm just saying it's absolutely true. So regardless of what your style is, like Intel was different from yesterday. Like yesterday, it basically just ran down the entirety of the day. The pattern looks the same, but it was under VWAP, so much easier trade. Today, on the upside, I won't lie, like I got stopped out at the open twice on the short side of the trade. I got stopped out on it at lunchtime. or right around lunchtime. It was just before we did the lesson of the day, and then jumped back in. So fortunately, like there were enough good shorts in there, and now another one that'll get us green. I think you hold it to the low now. Intel is now breaking its 200 period moving average. So it's putting in lower highs. That 26 resistance on the daily is holding up. It wouldn't surprise me if at least you see a repeat of 22. You got Micron earnings tonight, which I don't think are going to be that big of a deal, but if the space gets dragged down, there's all the reason in the world that you might have the air come out of this at least back to that 50 period moving average. I think it's got a temporary base down there in the 19 to 20 range. If it gets back to that price again, I think you can respect it. That was interesting. But for now, Intel has resumed being a short till it ain't.
All right, here it is, man. We talked about it, Neil getting back to green. That is great about Intel. We've been green since the jump on here, man. This has been a great stock. We just followed our own rules. We keep talking about the sticky note, and you guys, it's free. Absolutely free. Someone messaged me the other day, by the way. There's so many scammers out there for my accounts. I just apologize. Someone said that someone was sending out messages about, obviously about crypto. They always do that. And someone was saying that there's like an advanced sticky note that they'll give them if they send them a gift, then they can get it. There's nothing. Absolutely free. So you know who you are, and I'll shout that person out. And sorry that had happened to you. But here it is, man. 24 to 24.50. Sounds like 24 and a quarter to me. So there it is, man, 24 and a quarter. We always start too early, right? And so we never wind up making as much as we should if we were just a little bit patient. But I don't know where it's going to go. But all I do know is we have confidence in our own abilities and in our chart reading, which, again, is why today, when you look down, you're going to see some of the trades that we've had. But there it is, man. Nice downside play as it comes right back in. So, yeah, 23.75. Great. We're still in this name. It's the #1 traded name here today, P&L-wise. And, yeah, we like it, and we're proud to show you that this is the reason right here because of the sticky note and following trend. I mean, both Neil and I wanted the short. It was down 7% yesterday. I sat here this morning early, and I said, man, the watch list is pretty light. There's not much on there. All I did was I just loaded up my watch list here, and I was like, I sorted by yesterday, and I saw that at the top from negative was Intel. I just went like this, and I was like, okay, what was the worst name yesterday? That's how I surprised Sharif with the firm being up 10% and all that kind of stuff. And it was just like, let's find it. And then yesterday, of course, sitting right there was Intel. So, yeah, great trade there today. Great trade yesterday with the short as well. Intel, I'm just trying to figure, I have too many things here. Look, 52-week high, 52-week low, moving averages, 1 minute. These are all the things that you can put on to your e-signal.
I actually felt like
scanners there. I'm just a little bit
too much.
Yeah, no, I have too much on here right now, but this is just what it is. I'm not even looking at any of these. I only have these set up for scanner purposes. So you have to scan off a watch list at the end of the day. So I'm just gonna have to move. Anyways, I'll have to figure that out.
Speaking of e-signal, maybe you know the answer to this question before. I could always just, I can probably Google, I don't know. I could Google it. Because my list, Nvidia is doing the most, QBTS, like look at what's doing the most actual trade, the trade rate. So
yeah. That's trade
rapidity
rate.
or the speed of the trades. Palantir's up there, Tesla, all the ones you'd expect. But head count is the head CNT. Like, what is this column? Is the one.
Those are headlines. Those are news headlines.
Oh, they're just news headlines? Does that not seem a little? Well, 100. What's the time frame on that? To say 106 on that. So that makes sense. So
yeah.
Is it being chattered about?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what it's all about. Like, I could have obviously just Googled that, but hey, that's what the community is about. And Sean's part of our trading community. I know he's been using e-signal, so now I know that's probably not that.
I mean, that could be wrong. But
no, but the thing is, now I don't. Why do I even have that up there?
I know.
What means it?
I don't have that up.
Intel was the last one, wasn't it?
We're done, man.
Yeah, we're done. We are now, the rundown.
We are now cruising.
What was the other thing? Oh, Nvidia bounced off a sort of a trend, or well, it was a trend and bounced off support. So I'm going to go back to shorting this at VWAP if it gets there. And QBTS, what are the quantum names doing? Oh my goodness. 20% now, QBTS. What was that? You know what?
Your wife's going to give you hell because aren't you guys still in that name? You didn't tell her to sell? Come on, Mike.
Oh, I did. Well, the last time it went up to $10, I did tell her to sell some, and she did. She banked enough that
still
it was
close. What is it
She
now?
banked enough that it was a more than a free roll.
850.
And then I was like, now you just hold it forever if you believe in it, that kind of a thing. So it's a beyond a free roll. You know, what I was going to say is on Monday, Michael Noss had an indicator, and he was like $750 to buy.
Yeah.
And at the time, At the time, everyone's like, whatever, it's not going to get to 750. Maybe it does get there. I look at it this way. 750 is like the prior high. Like that's what's interesting to me if it falls another $1 here. Like you're coming into that prior high, or, I mean, you're not going to see the 50 period today. I can't see any way you see the 50 period today. That's nonsense. But I could see maybe you break $8 and then get close enough to the 750 for a reversion trade. If you're trying to do a reversion trade now, you'd be in it here at 840. So I'm not going to try to catch that falling knife. But the quantum names are absolutely bleeding. Petty, your thoughts? Rigetti's not very good either. That's also looking pretty nasty. But all of them have been sell the news. Sell the news events here today. No questions asked. I'll probably reload Tesla if it comes back. I got out in front of this area, which is what burned me last time. So I got moked on this trade because essentially I did not take enough out and then allowed myself to get stopped out there, which doesn't make sense because this candle, when it does this, goes right to your stop and then does a hard reverse. And that's 233.5 to 231.75. I'm like, I'll take a little bit out and then just watch it as it screams right back up to the stop. And I didn't get anything out in there. And that was like the other ones are like, they're not that bad. This one was bad because it showed you that you could have just got a bunch out there for like a $1.50 and then been cool with it. But now if it bounces off that same level where the buying came in, which is right around 232 to 233, I think you just short the pops because the market's making lower lows and lower highs. I hope the Playmaker was a short today because I know I voted short on the Playmaker.
So they got low, 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 low.
It was clips that was in
that
my head, actually.
That Playmaker poll. What are the stats on that? Still positive.
Nice. But
So
they've
the
been
Playmaker poll is literally better than
but they've been going short.
95% of the traders out there. Right? I mean, that just shows you right there about flipping a coin.
And there's no discretion.
That's what I mean. It's like literally 95% of the day traders lose. That thing's been running for how long? A couple months.
More than a couple of months. It's way more than a couple of months. Easily.
65 samples, so 3 months. So it's just like...
I thought it was longer than that. But
No, it doesn't matter. Anyways, congratulations, all you guys. They're picking. So there you go. So that just goes to show that it's like, when you think about it, and I'm not going to... You can ask everybody if they're positive or negative. I don't really care about that. What I'm saying is that I think the Playmaker poll is a great study in the fact that it shows you that you don't get caught up in the noise. I'm sitting here short Tesla, right? The Playmaker poll only takes, like, if it's $2 in the money or $1 out of the money. Like, there's no, like, oh, I'm going to hold this, like Trump is speaking, or like what I just did here on Palantir, for example. Like, I got out of the last 20%, thankfully, for flat, because I was thinking the market was broken again into the downside for the rest of the afternoon. So I was like, you know what? And again, part of it is because we want to be perfect today. We want to go 3 for 3. That's not. I just didn't want this to bleed down. It's not about hitting all the right levels all the time. It's just about like that came back into flat and then boom. So again, the bias of thinking that way, like the Playmaker poll would have just said, let's take 50 cents or lose 25 cents, whatever the ratios are, and it does it for you. So I just feel like, just like here on Tesla, we would be up so much more if I just don't say, oh, well, we're at VWAP, I'm going to take some out, or, it's just using basically straight numbers trying to find out your play. So a lot of the time, and that's why I said about, trading, I've only traded 3 names today. I know Sharif and Joe probably traded, I don't know how many Joe traded, 4, probably Sharif, probably much more, and you're much more than me today. And it's just a matter of looking for opportunities, and it's just like sometimes keeping it. And I didn't come up with this, obviously, but that keep it simple, stupid. And I just think, like, for me, that's been a real big game changer for me, is just keeping it as simple, as focused as possible. That was the initial idea with the sticky note. But I used to have, you guys know from the beginning of time when we started the show, like, I'd have like 5 or 6 positions at once. And sometimes I'll still have that, but I'm more thinking about trading the future because, like, you and I talk about this all the time. What's the point of being long Rigetti, Quantum,
well, that's the
like
thing.
QBTS, IonQ? Like, if there was an ETF, like there is the NASDAQ or the Mag 7, there's a Mag 7 ETF.
There is a Mag 7 ETF. The way I like to think about it is like if I'm trading Rigetti and suddenly, well, it was the other way around most days, QBTS, and then Rigetti looks better, I'll flip to the other one. because I know I've got them all in play. And that's sort of the thing. I don't ever want to be like actively, oh, this is the one that I'm actively trading at this area and be in four that are at the key price. It's one thing to be in 2 or 3 or 4 positions, but like 3 of them, it's like, well, you already made the trade, now you're just holding on to something, and the other one you're getting into. I don't ever like to be getting into 2 or 3 things at once. Like you can be like, if you're sitting in like Intel right now, Intel is a full percentage point away from where I'd short it again. So you're just kind of holding on to it. So I'd look to trade something else that's maybe at a level. Like if there's something you guys are watching that you think is in play, I mean, there's not really much that's popping off my scanners that we haven't already talked about, then let us know. If there's something really, really moving, I'm waiting for Intel to come back, test 24, VWAP, and give the money fills, which, by the way, today, it's been more about the range from the afternoon yesterday, like the highs from yesterday where we were short, and the bottom. Those have been the levels. VWAP hasn't been that much of a thing. It's just been about those levels on Intel. So I wanted to go back to those, and we'll wait for that opportunity. I think they're going to get a chance with this market trying to bounce, even like little things here, like Tesla's trying to maybe bounce into VWAP, although it's not really doing that good of a job of it, still rolling over and over and over again. Robinhood from Adrian Diaz, that's like Robinhood. Robinhood will forever be the why not Robinhood stock to me, because I'll never forget, it was like, buy more SoFi, and I don't remember the exact price Robinhood was at, but the chart should tell you that it doesn't matter. I don't remember the exact price, but I remember there was a moment where I could buy more SoFi or take something else in the fintech space. And something else that was being deliberated, it was even on this chat, was Robinhood, and we even did a poll about it. And Robinhood did really well. Probably running into a little bit of resistance because that's a big prior high level, this 44. But nice little churn. Like everything else, it's a sell of the top today. So I don't know if it's really moving all that much. All it is a little wedge here. Like you're just sort of forming one of these things. And not the good wedge like from Star Wars, but like the boring one where until it breaks out of that, what are you going to do? You know, like you want this to break away in either direction, and then you got to trade.
Okay. Yeah, looking for technical reasons, always a good look. Here's Tesla. All right, what's up, day trader cut? I mean, Tesla right now is $5, so it's going lower here right now. Google, we're buying a company. Here we go. Let me see what this says here. I'll just bring it up. Thank you, everybody, for watching, man. If you're in the chat, get in the chat. It's awesome. We're buying a company with $700 million revenue for $30 billion. That was Wiz. So yeah, I mean, I feel like you're right about that one. Hey, what's up, guys? This is what we're talking about, man. It's about this, trying to balance too many plays, right? So that's, like I told you, that's what it's about for that, right? It's about spending mental capital for me as well, right? Like, it's looking at too many things and burning out ideas on other things. It's like, I can just sit here, obviously pick up some levels, trade. We're here trading prop. So, you know, that's why sometimes like I can't even do ad reads, like I'm caught up in positions, right? So it's just like this is what it is. And right now we just saw a nice little bounce there off 232. So now that it's given me that, I'll put a bid for a third of what we have left down here at 232. I was at 231.55. We talked about that, right? We were just right back into here, seeing if we could have got basically that same print again. Doesn't look like we'll get that. So I'll just cancel that, and now I'll go to 232.10. So a lot of people like everything that we're talking about in the chat, so I'm just going to keep going, and thank you for all that. They said they're loving these little nuggets that we're dropping in there. That's just what I'm talking about. It's trying to be disciplined, trying to support the thesis that you have and giving it some room. We had Andy on this morning talking the exact same thing. Give it some room. As Neil said, everybody will have different trades, right? Like you got stopped out of Intel early in the morning a couple times, got back into it to the point where you're green now on it. This is the thing. Everyone's gonna get stopped out at different times. And I've been guilty of being stubborn like crazy, buying until eventually the loss is too big and I'm punching out. You can't be stubborn about your trades, but I do believe that part of being stubborn is also holding out for the wins. And it's like right now, I could just get out now, but I'm at 232.10. Let's see if this comes back in. And bang, that's what we're talking about, Neil. We'll props up ourselves Barry Horowitz style and then just watch to see what's going on now. As here comes Tesla, that was $4. We'll take it. We only have Tesla and Intel. The the same two stocks we've had all day. And then we threw Palantir in there as well. So let's see what can wind up happening right now. It's too bad because I feel like I should have held on to more of this Tesla. But at the end of the day, it's a downside move. Look, man, it was the P&L number one yesterday. Or no, yesterday was TQs. But today we'll hit Tesla. We like that name, but, you know, I still think the longs could win too. Just because I'm all net.
Today, I don't think.
Well, I mean, this level's been a great long. Like this level right here, 232. If you went long at 232, you're beating me today because you only got stopped at once. And so, boom, it's been this is what I'm saying, right? It's like just because I'm going one way, generally speaking, that'll be the same way a lot of people go. But we're just trying to trade trend. So that's all we're trying to do is look for the names, write them down on here, and go. And so far, so good. So, you know, we're just enjoying trading again. And Intel, I don't think Intel's moving that much. What about AMD?
It's still chilling. One thing's happening right now, and if it doesn't happen in the next 15 minutes, I probably don't bother with it because it's PDD and it's the afternoon on a Chinese ADR. But it's been riding a trend since the open that could break right now. So this one, it had a weird barcode at 130. So I'd like if it breaks down 130 and a half, I think for sure scalp at the first 50 cents because of what weirdness happened at 130. And the other thing to think about is if you ever see a stock, you want to see if I can't get picked up here at 45. If you ever see a stock do this, sometimes it's just worth the break. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't watching PDD at this time, and I'm sort of talking about, like zoom it in here. Like if you just see it sitting there with a brick wall, I wasn't watching. I'm gonna presume there might've been like an iceberg or something like that on PDD. But if you see that, and you can, like at a prop, you can do this, just sit here with a stop underneath like 129.90 and just take that breakout a few cents above the 130 level and then just get a free money long because it goes like $1 instantly. So I'm short it. With this type of a trade, I never want to see it break the prior bar because it's such a big trend. And remember, just a reminder here, like because it's a Chinese ADR, if it doesn't start moving on that break and is just going sideways, I probably just start giving it up because there's not that much time left in the day and volume tends to go down on the Chinese stocks in the afternoon. But I'm in the trend, giving it the prior bar. First bid's going to be in front of that 30 because it was a brick wall. And let's go back to the desk because we have our guest of the afternoon.
Hey guys, yeah, thanks so much. Happy to have Dr. Jim Kelly, a leading expert on concussions, neurology, and brain health with extensive experience in traumatic brain injury specifically. He's also the Chief Medical Officer of Oragenics. Here this afternoon to talk a little bit about, we've mentioned it on the show prior. It's good to see you, Dr. Kelly. First of all, welcome.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Let's touch a little bit on, maybe from a high level, if you can, exactly what it is that Oragenics is currently working on.
Well, Oragenics has a spray-dried powder medication that actually is a nasal preparation that is specific to the use in acute concussion. And as you may know, there is no medication I and other physicians can order for the underlying root causes of traumatic brain injury. This would be something very novel. It actually is a unique product that Oragenics has created and is now about to start clinical trials in that has gotten considerable traction already.
You mentioned the lack of, I guess, any other drug specifically that is targeted at treating this type of injury. Can you compare this treatment or what this treatment would be to what is available right now on the market and how it would be different?
Sure. So for my purposes as a physician treating people with concussion, we're treating symptoms, headache, occasionally dizziness with various medications. If they have lingering problems that are cognitive, you might give them something that stimulates cognition. You might help them sleep. Sleep is a huge problem in people in the subacute and chronic phases after concussion. And so we treat problems that arise as a result. We don't treat the underlying cause of the problem. It's very different than many other neurological conditions where you're treating the underlying cause of the problem. We have nothing currently, and we think this could be game-changing.
So when it comes to the potential here, we've mentioned on this show many times, going back to the beginning of last month, I believe it was. I mean, 5 million concussions reported per year in the US alone. What does the market look like, or what does the potential market look like here for something like this?
It's huge. As many as 25% may have lingering symptoms a year out. Imagine if you could abbreviate that for all those individuals. And some people never recover fully from even a single concussion. Certainly, it's more worrisome if they have multiple concussions. And if you look at this, just to put it in perspective, the dimensions in terms of the numbers in the US of concussion exceed the combination of stroke, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, and ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, combined. It's actually almost twice that. TBI is almost twice all of those put together. And so the dimensions are huge. And we have treatments for, to some extent, for neurological conditions across the board, except for this.
What does this look like if say I'm involved in, some sort of sporting related, event or accident for that matter, end up with a concussion? What does the actual process look like that this drug would help instantly, or would it take some time, or how does that work?
So the trials right now are actually in that acute setting in an emergency department in a civilian population. It is equivalent to what would happen when I, as a team physician, which I've been, would be seeing somebody in a locker room, let's say, of a sports arena, or perhaps even hours later in a clinical setting. And so right now, what we're looking at in the athletic world would be the equivalent of a civilian trial right now for individuals in the acute care setting, much like what would happen right afterwards, within minutes or certainly an hour. We're looking at trying this within a few hours of a concussion that occurs in a civilian setting. If we were doing it in athletes where we're present at the time a concussion occurs, which I have been many times, that would be even shortened. So this medication approach could actually then be given as soon as somebody has the symptoms and is clearly experiencing concussion effect, that we think would abbreviate, if not abort, the entire process. We don't know for sure how effective this will be until we get farther along in those clinical trials.
A fascinating topic, and obviously much needed, as we've mentioned many times. So please, Dr. Kelly, come back, give us an update as we learn more about these trials. It's good to have you. Dr. Jim Kelly, Chief Medical Officer over at Oragenics. Good to see you this afternoon.
Be happy to have it. Thank you.
Yeah, big shout out.
Amazing.
Thank you there. It's like
You and I were just talking, like, we have kids. And the thing is like, Neil asked me, like, would you ever let your kid play football? And I said yes, because I feel like some of the best moments, and me and Neil both agreed to this, that we've had in high school and throughout growing up are sports-related, experiences, right? So that's where I think a product like this, that if you're able to attend if something goes wrong, and again, like, we had Brett Favre on here that's had, he said thousands of concussions, and I just want to say, like, if that technology was around, and who knows where we would be with sort of that talk about concussions and safety and things like that. And I mean, it doesn't really matter what sport you're playing. We were talking about it, like, you love baseball. You're not going to keep your daughter away from that, but she could take a fastball to the head or playing first base, misses the ball, boom. I've seen it happen so many times, broken noses, everything like that. So I just think something like this is a life-changing, actually. I didn't want to get too dramatic there, but I think
it is. And not to turn, like, this is a trading show, but just think about the addressable market, even in just the professional and the NCAA level.
Right.
Oh my goodness. And then from a liability, like basically, you wouldn't, if they have something that works, you wouldn't be able to actually have these sports and insurance without having that product available if it works. So that's obviously going to be, I think it's fantastic.
And I
you always root for it. And
no one wants their kid to get hurt.
No. My dad wouldn't let me box when I was a kid.
I mean, and
that's another thing we were talking about. It's like he flat out. I made the football team after they ran the 40 on the first day. Got home and turned to my mom, like, I made the football team, and she's like, no, you didn't. You did not make the football team. And then that was her way of saying, no, they didn't want me playing.
Yeah, I know that sucks for you.
And to be honest, like it sucked because all my friends were playing football. And
You missed great times.
yeah, I obviously missed great times because I know some of the boys, well, we had all the same friends anyways, and I played a bunch of other sports, but there was missed opportunities out there. And I think this would give, some parents are not letting their kids
risk
play.
reward, man.
And obviously, I think this will be good. But back to trading for a quick little second. The NASDAQ is bouncing back. Tesla's back at VWAP. So this is the NASDAQ. It's almost at VWAP, but Tesla's at it, like right now. So I said I'd stop saying weasel in. Gonna take some in front of VWAP. If we start breaking out the top here, then I do not want to be fighting this stock. Ludo just said, why NASDAQ not up?
NASDAQ might be up soon.
Well, it could get green. Here's what I would say. The highs that we made yesterday and the day before, so you have the high from Fed Day and the day before, just turned into resistance today. I think we made resistance for the last 2 days, and part of it was a Fed high. So we got there today, and the market sold off. Well, we've been in a market when it gets to major resistance, generally speaking, you can trust the sell right now. I'm not saying you blindly short every major resistance level, but you find a good setup when the market's at what you think is a good resistance level, and you've been winning lately. So I think you sort of lean into that sort of idea, at least for now. So PDD, Pinduoduo, got to that prior brick wall at 133. The next level is 129. Now remember, it's 3 o'clock, it's Chinese ADR, it's not going to move that fast. So to me, if that trend break goes from 130 and a half to 129, great. I don't think this is going to fall all over itself. Typically speaking, Chinese ADRs don't move that much in the afternoon for you to expect this thing to drop $5. No. If it drops a buck and a half, I think I'd be happy with that. And on the other side of it, I was looking to see like what Baba was doing, and I can't figure out what the heck Baba's doing. Like, I'm actually not liking this, the price action for Alibaba. Why did PDD gap down on its earnings, rally all the way to the top, and Alibaba's right back at the low of the day, down 4%, when they're supposed to have been the better one recently? So I did take some out, not all of it, my Alibaba. I'm starting to I'm probably going to make a decision if we break this. I'm talking about my personal account. I'm not long Baba here or anything. I'm just, this higher low that you've seen since it took out the top, if it loses that, I might take out another tranche, as Sean likes to say, of Alibaba, because I don't like that price action, especially given the context of the bounce that we've seen in Pinduoduo, which I thought was the inferior stock, which I still think, obviously.
As Neil was talking, Tesla. We just shorted more right there. We just shorted 75s. We just got out at 17s. Now we're starting to go a little bit lower right here again. So this is what I'm talking about. There's the 200 period moving average. So we like that, man. I was going to get stopped out at VWAP if that was going to be the case. But here it comes just absolutely bleeding to the downside. And yeah, again, it's just about respecting your levels. There's really nothing else. Obviously, Neil and I want to thank everybody for watching. Make sure you do hit the best way to thank us is by hitting the like and the subscribe, and then of course, watching every day and coming back and sharing it and talking to people about it, because no one's doing what we're doing. Even though we may not have a successful day, some of the traders, myself, whoever's trading, it's the ideas, it's the effort that's getting put into here. We're answering the questions every single day for you. We just put this on. Neil, this is $1 in 2 minutes. So, I mean, I hope that you guys are seeing that these things are possible. And like I said, completely different styles, man. 3 names for me. That's it, and it's just all what it is. The stream and your portfolio. What's up, Stevenson here? He said the market is, someone said the NASDAQ, you mentioned that. He said the NASDAQ is down, but Trader TV Live is up. And I'm like, do you mean the stream or what? But he's like, the stream and portfolio. So congratulations on that one today. So I'm net positive today trading, so it's going to be a good day so far here today. Oh, I like these little kitty cats. XRP in Japan, what's up? I just want to tell people, if you spam on here, oh, shit.
I'm covering in front of 30.
There it is, man. Nice monster play right there for Tesla. So here we go, man. We just loaded that thing up. And I mean, yeah, that's what we did do. We load that thing up. There goes Tesla. Nice move there to the upside, and we're still going on it. So let's see where we can go, man. So far, so good. Tesla, we just got short. There it is. Nice push to the downside. And Oh boy, we're on this one more time right there. So hopefully that's good to go for us. We'll see if Tesla can get even lower than where we are right now. Neil's talking about covering. So far,
I've covered it every single time at this level all day long, and because it's just been bouncing. Oh yeah, this also was pre-market support there as well. So it's been bouncing off this level pretty much the entirety of the day. I just want to respect it. Patrick Jam, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate all of them.
Jam. That's a jam.
Oh, jam. Look
Super
at the
chat's a jam.
15-minute candle on the QQQ. Well, okay, I have the NASDAQ. It's okay if I just look at the NASDAQ. Why do I have... I don't usually draw trend lines on the NASDAQ, and I have no idea what... None of these even make any sense. It's just random. I think I was just clicking on it and had the line thing drawn. You must mean this candle, that rejection candle. I'm assuming you mean this one, where you had this wick up to 19.8. All this tells me is confirmation of the short the pops. Like, it's getting up to these levels and it's just rejecting them. But you could, like, Tesla just did the same thing. I bet you Nvidia did the same thing where it popped up and we got a rejection. So when we get back up to the high, look for a short. If you don't like the futures, find the stock that you... And did I know that when I would come back, Tesla would be right back up? Yeah, like, we're just rejecting these pops. We've seen it almost every single day for the last little bit, especially in the afternoon. Yesterday was a bit of an extreme example because of the Fed, but the idea is more or less the same. Short the pops. Short the pops.
Just for an example, like I've been drinking. I got this at 140. Still not done.
I forgot to fill my water.
I'm almost done. No, that's what I was saying. Yeah, I filled this water this morning.
I did not fill. No, I usually, the first thing I do when I get to the office, I fill one of these and down it. When I wake up in the morning, I have about the same as well. So, but then I have one during the morning show, and then usually I refill it for the afternoon, but I did not refill it. That's intense.
Maybe we'll get back on this front.
Yeah, you used to do it. You used to always do that.
We used to post that shit up all the time. We're gonna do that one more time. Okay, what's up to the milk jugs? You come visit.
I am gonna refill this.
You guys come visit. I'll give you one of these.
That is true.
How about that?
The funny thing is, well, they pretend there's a limited supply of them, but there's like so many.
Who's they?
Well, I'm not going to say the name, but there's a ridiculous, there's a ridiculous number of these.
Is there?
Oh yeah. There's a lot. I'm gonna go.
Right. Yeah, go nuts, man, go nuts. I can probably handle this by myself. Okay, so yeah, so far so good here. What's up to everybody? Thanks for joining us as we look to see, what this market is doing. We have a good time around here. I hope most of you can see that. That's for sure. We just downloaded new software, so I got to make sure that we're in the right piece right here, in the right one piece. Okay, I want to talk quickly about. That was a stupid thing. I've never. Like whenever I leave for work in the morning, my 13-year-old is never awake. Because I leave around 7:30ish every morning to come into this place, and he's never awake. And today he's awake because he's watching One Piece and he is ready to go. Ooh, someone's phoning me. Should we answer this live? All right, just real quickly here. I want to talk about this. Just like we shorted Tesla at the 200 period, that's one of the best things about the Apple Watch because like it tells you. So I try never to miss calls, because it rings. But then I guess anybody now knows that if we're, by the way, O'Leary, red band. How about that? Okay, so right now, I just want to say we shorted Tesla right there at the 200 period moving average. So I want to talk about getting out right here at the 200 period moving average. So if Intel breaks, my stop is in right now for 90. All right, it was actually... We could have reloaded it, but we were looking at Tesla. So if it comes back up here, I'm thinking that that's probably a reload. But let's look at the futures because we've hit the futures really well over the last little while. I mean, look at this. Boom, 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 boom. Like we just keep on making lower highs. And it looks like that trend is going to continue here as well again. 20,000. I like that as a magnet. We spent half the day above it, half the day under it. So right now, I still think this 19.8 is at risk. Right here tonight. So, or this afternoon in the next hour. I think that's a level that we could definitely see. And then a break of that, then there's a problem. This is straight off from the open. We just started going, right? We had written down on the TQQs that the level that I liked was right here, and we missed it. It's on the sheet. It's the number one trade. It was 60 long. So off the open, we went down to $60, and I don't ever really want to take, it went to 60.40s. I don't really want to take the futures in the very first candle of the day. I don't, we've been run over doing trades like that before. And it's honestly, I have a hard time judging risk, especially in the first like 10 to 15 minutes, because, you know, if you're looking short on this, you may be short into the pre-market high, but what is that really worth? You know, and then all of a sudden you don't really know where your upside risk is. And as I talk like this, I can actually just use a real-time example. And that was this trade right here on Tesla. It's when we're shorting there, I told you where the risk was. We were getting out if it broke 234, which is where VWAP is. So it's like I have it defined out. When you're kind of going short here, this is where it was risky doing this, because we're getting short here against the pre-market high. When the pre-market high breaks right here, then we're out. Then we get sloppy with it. But then finally, there's this top wick candle up there at 238, and that gave, look, confidence or not, false or not, like that gave us a reason and an out there. And then when you match 238 with yesterday's close, it just all makes sense. So that's what trading's about. It's forever trying to put the odds in your favor, because, and then once you do that, which is already hard enough, the real part is share size. There's nothing else different than that. It's share size, and it's figuring out what the risk is. And if you can do that, then you can make a hell of a lot of money, because everybody here, if there's any real traders in the chat, which there are, a lot of you are, and what I mean by that is not in simulated mode. So if you're trading real capital, there's a way different feeling than trading sim mode. I mean, I've seen so many traders back behind us do really well in simulation, and then yet can't do anything once they go live. Once they get real risk, once they get real responsibilities, right? So that's the difference. Once you actually putting on shares, it's about believing in the system. And that's why Neil and I, we all talk about it. Don't do anything until you're confident in what you're doing. And I mean, that's where I think, okay, we just got more short there. So remember where our stop is. I am so chilled out right now that like, it's almost like an algo for me. We get the fill. I didn't even, like, I wasn't even talking about that, Phil. That just ran right up there into the 200-period moving average. Now, we could get stopped out of this trade. And if we do, my trigger right now is at 234.25s. So if that hits, then we're out, which it might hit right now. That's why good cover. I know Neil covered down there.
I'm ready to punch in if it fails VWAP, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Punch in long. Or punch in short.
No. Punch in.
If it fails VWAP.
If it fails VWAP, I want to go short again.
Yeah. So
I'll talk the way that makes sense to me. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Yeah, but that's the strategy, right? Like, I'm going short in front of this. What Neil's talking about is, here, I can zoom in, and I mean, it's easy to explain, so it doesn't really matter. If it goes up here, breaks maybe by a couple pennies or 50 cents or something, then comes back in, then we take VWAP to the downside, right? And so that's the trade that Neil's talking about. I'm talking about getting into it right now. So we just got short. I'll tell you where my fills. I'm bidding 60s. We just got short 90s there. So we'll see if we get a fill in the 60s, fine. Remember where our stop is, right? So 30 cents one way or the other. So here it comes. Let's see if we get a fill. We'll take out 10%. If it does come back in, it's a trade that I like. The only trade that I'm really upset about, not upset, but we dropped 20% right there because we got nervous thinking the market was going to crank to the downside. Well, that didn't happen, and it just went right back up, right into VWAP, which would probably have been an out for us. But there it is, right? See, there's the strategy. Boom! So there we go, man. We get it in there. It could still go against. I'm going to get out of another piece if we can, because we just got to fill there at 60s. We'll put a 65 back in there, or 66 there. There's me holding it up. There we go. We get the fill. So now it comes back in. Here we go again. So hopefully we're just sort of showing you different styles, different trades. It could still break higher, man, and this trade could come out. But for right now, we've been sort of supporting that. My stop on Tesla, as we just described it, is a break right there. So a little bit of a reload, right? Whenever you're outs are lower than your reloads, you're done pretty good. So we'll wait to see again where it comes down. But this is what I'm talking about, share size. If this is like 100 shares there and this is only 10 shares, well, then, you know, you're still not really winning. It's about figuring out the share size, where you're comfortable. And Neil, oh boy, are we comfortable trading today? Well, we're comfortable trading every day. But here it comes. Let's give us some 47s now and see if Tesla can get to the downside and give us that 40 cents. We're just trying to go one-to-one, man. If the market bleeds here in the afternoon, afternoon, then great. I mean, obviously we have the ability to hold it. So there's 50 cents. We're 1-to-1. We're doing pretty good. Let's just see what winds up happening now as we get ready for the close. Mad about Palantir, but hey man, we move on. And then Intel, we're waiting for that stop out.
Intel's just sort of staying weak. You know what I mean? Like, so I think there's really not much to do except hold on to it until it proves otherwise, because Intel's had this history of dropping just all afternoon. It did it yesterday. If it can't go, it can't go. I'm not going to go over this. We just inadvertently talked about the same thing, but there's a couple of questions here. JV, any thoughts on Nike earnings report in 1 hour? I don't know if it's exactly at 4:05 or 4:10. I'm not actually sure what time they report, but we are expecting them tonight. Get to that in a second, but Safe asking, you hear a lot about the death cross NVIDIA. What is the death cross? It's a really simple concept. So I happen to have a daily chart up. The death cross is the 50 period, it's generally speaking, I've never heard anyone say it's a different moving average over another. It's the 50 period simple moving average crossing the 200 period moving average to the downside. So the shorter duration moving average crosses the longer duration moving average of the 200 period to the downside. It's meant to, the idea behind it in technicals, and I'm not saying I would ever trade off of it because I don't. It's a bearish signal. And if the golden cross is the opposite, like if it crosses to the upside. So that's what everyone's talking about, and I guess that's what everyone's fearful about. And I've said this every single time this has been brought up, that if you get the death cross, which is happening today, and we close underneath it where it does the cross, I'm almost looking for an opportunity for this to break out, because a lot of swing traders would then enter a short position because this has happened. Right. And then therefore, if it breaks the local high, it's kind of like this, people took that short technically, so a lot of them are going to stop out here, and then you get a quick little breakout play. And I've seen that work so many times that it's like, you always want a counterparty, man. And if there's a counterparty that a lot of people take that short trade, you got to have somebody losing to win in the sense. So not that I'm ever wanting people to lose money, but if they go short off the death cross, why not have a breakout at 123? But I'd only take the break if it happens. So that's a simple answer to your question. We'll double check.
The cool thing about the death cross is it's predicted 15 of the last 3 recessions.
Yes. You know what? I have no idea technically how successful it is. I couldn't.
That's not successful at all.
No, I couldn't tell you. Like if the death cross predicts 65%, whatever. Like I have no idea. You want to back test something like that yourself, I think, if you want to use it. As far as Nike goes, what I like about Nike is it's a very, very clean and distinct chart for me. Like this is it's so binary in here. Like either it holds 70 or it doesn't. And that's pretty much how I'm looking at it tomorrow. If they have a bad report and it holds 70, I want to go long. If they have a good report and it holds 70, I want to go long. If they have a good report and it loses 70, I probably want to short it. And it's the same thing. I almost don't care what they're going to report. And I haven't looked into it too much. I understand you have a lot of that China risk. I've never really invested in them, even though I still think they make good stuff. The chart speaks for itself. I'm very much of the mind of trying to swing things when they are already breaking out instead of trying to pick bottom. I say that every single time. And there's not an apparel name that I'm in love with. I had a swing trade on Lulu last year that was okay. It wasn't great. It won, but it wasn't that good. Nike actually looks interesting if it holds 70 tonight. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
I'm skeptical.
So I don't see a time. I see their conference call is 5. So
that usually means it's in the first half an hour.
Yeah, no, for sure. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. I mean, there's definitely a place to go find this. Adara's not here today, so normally she will tell me the times.
I see 4:15 here.
4:15. Okay, well, whatever. Joe and I will,
be all over that. Yeah. Like.
For it to be
an
amazing show, I mean, we don't even need earnings, you know what I'm saying? So we'll be there today, but we're excited, man. I'm excited for Micron more than Nike, but we'll wait. I know there's a lot of traders in there for Nike. I've played Nike. You guys know I talked about it on my account where we got in and we got out. Basically, I post all the positions that I'm getting in on my Twitter, so go find me there, both long-term and I don't post all the trades every day because I have a lot of fills, but here it is right here. It's Nike, so the big one today. So we already have PDD, obviously, that was the biggest market cap. Accenture as well before market open, both down. 7% there for Accenture, and PDD It says up 1.2%, but it's hovering. So we'll wait to see what's going on there. The expected moves, though, 9% for Micron, 8% for Nike. We do have another one down here, as Neil's mentioned before, a beleaguered FedEx, which is looking for 8.5% of a move. That one coming through. And then Lennar, the home builder, coming as well, looking for 6.5% of a move as well. And then after that, Jabil, okay, so that's another, that's before market already, that's up 5% already. Other than that, man, not too much else there, but we'll be holding down the fort, so join Joe and I after hours, and we'll just go over all those plays.
Accenture's chart is nasty. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, consulting, yeah.
You know what I remember? I'll never forget this. I said this in the afternoon market show yesterday.
Yeah.
Accenture was the stock that went to 1 cent. On the
what?
In the flash crash. Remember the flash crash?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it was. I thought Accenture was. Well, there's a bunch. It's a flash crash.
I made millions.
A bunch of things went down heavily, but Accenture was really, really bad. Going all. They broke a bunch of the trades, but you never forget that.
I think they pretty much broke all of them.
No, well, what happens is that there's always like a price that they pick, and it's like everything under that gets broken, and everything
reasonable
above
price
is okay. I can tell you, I've been on the other side of that. Where I once got it was on a penny stock, and I got some really, really fantastic fills. And I'm like, these are gold. And I was like, mate,
I need more of these fills.
It's like, I'm probably not going to cover this because in the pre-market, I'm like, if they break this trade, you're as a day trader, you're caught the other way. So I elected not to cover and play it conservative and not take the free money that would have made my day. And someone else I know didn't do that. They took the covers. They ended up breaking the trades, and then they got burned. I always seem to find like when you're the day trader, like the prop guys get burned that way. It's like it never works in our favor. It always works in the favor of the big money that loses on those bad fills. But
you mean big money keeps winning? There's no way this stuff.
Well, because they can lean. They lean on they have more clout with the brokers and with the SEC, and then it's more likely that those trades will get broken. But if it's a penny stock and it's some lowly schmuck day traders that got those great fills.
No. Schmuck, eh?
Yeah. I was like 25 at the time. I can call myself a schmuck.
Yeah, that's us.
At that
anyways.
age,
I mean, it could happen again right now. So you can get trades broken, which is why sometimes you'll hear people say, like, if you get a great fill, I would you maybe wait T+3 or T+2, T+1. What is the
like an egregious fill? Like, you know what I mean? You know what we mean? Like, if you're bidding, and it's just no reason, like just nonsensical. Like,
the other
nothing
side
happened, no news.
Can file.
The other side can file and often will file, and you just never want to get. It happens. Like, if it's ever happened to you, you get what I'm saying. Trying to reload Tesla here at VWAP. What else is happening? Nvidia's not doing anything. I was going to check to see if QBTS
Tesla was starting to go, but
oh my goodness! Like, okay? So it's at 8:30 on QBTS. So there's an outside chance that maybe it gets down and breaks its $8 because 750 is a key level on QBTS, down 21% and still bleeding. It's not moving very rapidly, but it's definitely stair-stepping to the downside. Yeah, that is absolutely wild. And Ben Works, we're getting a lot of questions. Love the questions in the chat.
Yeah,
keep them coming if you want. PZZA have the same revenue and income, basically. Oh, Papa John's.
Oh, Papa.
Yeah, I should say the symbol. I should say the stock. Papa John's, same income, basically 5 years. Why is the stock down 68%? Usually, and I haven't looked it up. I just pulled the stock up for the first time. Usually, if you're sitting there and fundamentals haven't changed a bunch, like you're saying the revenue is the same, then a lot of times the stock may have gotten ahead of itself. It could be a valuation type of play. That is a lot of times the issue. I don't know specifically because I've never really paid too much attention to it. I know their pizza's delicious.
I like
I
Papa
can tell you
John's,
that. Yeah. Tesla broke the quarter.
American company.
No, I love their pizza. But yeah, I haven't really looked into it too much, but a lot of times things can be the same, but the market sentiment has changed. And it's like, well, making that much money relative to your market cap isn't good enough in a certain market environment. And that's why you can get punished. But if you like the stock and you have a fundamental reason why you think it's good, I just don't like downward trending things.
Fundamental reason.
If I can avoid it. Sometimes you do. Tesla just broke out VWAP, guys. So I did reload it, and it just broke out VWAP, so I'm out of it. Gonna have to double check Intel. Like, why is it? It's almost there.
I thought you were doing the VWAP. I thought you were doing a different play.
Which?
The VWAP fail and break down.
I did. No, but it did.
Oh, it did break and you lost it that way. Okay.
No, it did. Let me go back to Tesla because it was at the same moment. It was right here.
Right.
At 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It came to VWAP, failed it, and I did get in. and it didn't break down, but I didn't get it all in, and then we got some more, and it broke VWAP, we get out. Now, Intel, obviously, right now, like it got to the same bottom as it's been getting to every single time, and now it's trying to get into VWAP. But I'll remind everybody what I said before, the real fills have not been at it. It's been letting it get there, stop people out, and then shorting it above VWAP into 24.10 to 24.15. So there's still a little bit of time for that to happen. You want to respect the level, not the line on the chart. That's the way that I'm going to look at it there. And let's see what else we got going on here. Jason, what indicators do you have on your charts, and do they differ based on time frame? Yes, because I only put up moving averages on my daily, and then I have VWAP and volume, obviously. I do like to at times. I'll always have one, like I have black charts up that I kind of watch for my own purposes. Like the white charts are for you guys because apparently they're more clear. But I always have one momentum.
Trying to say they're not more clear, or?
Well, I don't know. That's what we were told, that we should show you guys the white charts.
I'm just playing. I have no idea.
I have one chart out of the 4 that I kind of track when I look up that always has like the moving averages on it, that I'll usually slap a momentum stock to see if that particular momentum stock is respecting, you know, like a 50 on that day.
Right.
But I'll use it for that purpose to see it. Well, if it is, then I might start using that. But I don't usually have them up for the whole time. I don't use RSI.
I put up RSI and I don't use it. I was like, I'm gonna use RSI, but I.
Oh yeah, you do.
I do, but I don't. I honestly, I just putting it there to make myself look smarter. I don't.
I find it more interesting when I'm thinking about like profit taking on long-term plays. I might pull up an RSI if I'm like, do I take profit here? Then I might throw up an RSI.
I'm guessing you don't hear Ramin.
Oh shoot, my bad.
All right, look, we had these guys on earlier today. We want to thank OGen for coming through. Each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S., yet there is still. And again, just rewind back to, I think it was around 2:45 for this. A great interview. Thanks, Brendo, for this. Yet there is still no FDA-approved treatment. It's unbelievable. NYST listed Oragenics, OGen, OGEN, is changing that with its first in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. So again, well discussed here today. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach, I think it gets higher than this, $8.9 billion by 2027. Oragenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more, schedule a meeting today with Oragenics. So just scan that QR code there and get it all figured out. I mean, we just saw somebody right there, you know, car accident. That was another thing that we never even thought about.
We didn't even talk about that.
There's so many different areas there.
I've only had one concussion in my life, and it was in the Dominican Republic at a resort.
On a wave or something.
And I was on a banana boat.
Yeah.
And when you do those, it's not like they're licensed or anything. There's a
Wait, what?
Yeah, well, there's a safe speed at which they should pull the banana boat.
Yeah.
That I can promise you, this dude decided to completely ignore. And they were doing the fun thing where they go back to the shallow water and then do a sharp turn, and then dump everybody in the shallow water. And they'd been doing that to the entire group. And then my older brother, myself, and 3 gigantic German dudes got on and had a look between us like we're not falling off when he tries to dump us.
These German guys, I tell you.
Which we didn't, and it's almost like he took it personally. Because he then took us out into deeper water, went even faster, did the same turn, and threw us. And I was only 13 at the time and weighed about $130 and got thrown and like just landed head in the water. It was like ruined the rest of my vacation, so that was a concussion for sure. It happens, and again...
You probably got more concussions on vacation than you would have playing football.
Well, it's...
You know, but that's the risk you take, and that's what we're talking about.
Dude, I'm not a big
football,
dude.
I never got
but I'm not a big dude now. I was small in high school.
Ramin's
like I would have
had
got
concussions.
I'd have got moked anytime I got.
Ramin's had 3
concussions.
concussions. Doing what? Oh, playing basketball. Or Ramin used to dunk on guys, and then when they got mad, they
no. She was hitting her head on the rim. I mean.
Oh, you hit your head on the rim a couple times. Damn those 4-foot rims. Okay, so just they should ban those things.
Ouch.
What Ramin's not dunking on a 10-foot net?
Well, you could have said more. You could have said
6.
You could have said 6.
Okay, damn those 6-foot nets.
You said 4.
Man.
Like literally, you said a rim which is shorter than her. That's cold, man. I mean, you know that's cold.
Yeah, I'm cold as ice.
It's not like dunking on like a 6-foot coat hanger and ripping your hand up in New Orleans or anything.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
What poll?
What's the poll?
Can Ramin dunk? Yeah, I believe she can dunk right now. Ramin could pretty much do anything. So I am all for nationals.
What nationals?
What, Saudi Arabia team?
What nationals you high jump for? didn't high jump any nationals
You didn't
here.
do any national high jump.
Whoa, no, Ramin, you did not go to nationals
going
for
on?
high jump.
Oh yeah, so did I. I saw her there.
Nationals?
National.
No.
That's a crazy athlete.
Get outta
man.
here.
We might have something on our hands over here.
Ramin,
we might. Nobody here has been to nationals for any like this girl might be the athlete that we all wish we were.
Get out of here.
I
No,
mean,
you don't.
honestly, Ramin, shout out to Ramin.
No, I follow track. You don't. No.
I mean, you called out Sharif's integrity earlier. I'm not calling out hers.
Not Canadian nationals. Absolutely not.
She's saying that she did.
Absolutely not. I'm betting you did not.
You just went there. Well, you better. Yeah, of course you're not Canadian champion. In our ear, she's like, I never said I won. You know, I mean, that's fine. Okay, there. She competed, Neil, in nationals, in your face. All
I'm
right.
just gonna keep this one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, it's all good. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's all good, man. We respect that, man. Nationals is serious. That's for sure. So congratulations to Ramin All. All right, it's 3:25 right now. Let's just have a look to see if Nike's actually doing anything right now. Probably when Ramin was in the Nationals, I don't know if she was wearing Nike. She might have even been sponsored. I at this point, I don't know. But here we come in again. You know, we had sort of talked about this. So I bought Nike. This is going to go, this level here for a while was definitely supported. We had bought, you know what? Our charts are taking too long. But anyways, they got the new CEO. It bumped up there. I got out. I was in both of these names, both Nike and Starbucks. Got out of both of them for the same reason. Starbucks continued to go higher. Nike has faded out. Look at the 200 period moving average. I think Nike is a coiled spring. And what I mean by that is that you know, all they have to do is impress a little bit, and I think this thing can really moon. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening here with Nike, but I mean, you've bounced off of this period a couple times. I think it can do it again. So let's wait to see, again, what happens here with Nike. I like this level down at 71. Risky to take anything ahead of earnings because, quite frankly, we have no idea what these earnings are going to say or what they're going to do. But at the end of the day, this looks like a decent level. I'd hold off on it. If it holds, then great. You probably take calls against that level. You know, we've been back up to that 200 period a couple times. So that's $79. I wouldn't be surprised if this name gets into $78, $79 tonight. And again, like, this is just what I'm thinking. We don't have inside anything. Like, if it comes out, it comes out. Well, we don't. Yeah, I mean,
oh, damn it.
It's one of those things where not super legal. But anyways, even if I did have it, I mean, the thing is that it doesn't actually matter. It only matters what they guide. The actual report itself, when you think about Nike, you have to sometimes think about where are we going with the story? And it's just like, I don't know what percentage of their equipment or their athletic gear is produced in China. I'm going to say 75%, because I know they have like there's some Philippines in there. I don't know. I don't know how much they're producing in India. I'm pretty sure United States would be a fraction of whatever that is. So at the end of the day, tariff sensitive name, that is for sure. And I mean, you've just seen Nike had that pretty good move just in the last month. So, you know, it's 80 down to 70. Obviously, it's sensitive to that. It's also interest rate sensitive, as there's a lot of consumers that are going to be making, you know, purchases and need to have, you know, mortgages under control and credit cards and so on and so forth. So we'll wait to see where the fun is for Nike tonight. But Joe and I will have that. And there's a couple super chats, so let's go.
Yeah, we had three actually, unless you got one that I missed. Gibby 1141.
John Gibson.
I love Gibby. He was the coach manager for the Jays. That's not who you are, obviously. I've been watching every day for 4 years. First of all, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. You guys have the best show. Learned so much, and thank you. 27-year-old business owner, started full-time options trading in January. Any advice you can give me? Put in the effort. Find your edge. And once you have something that works for you, rinse and repeat, and then just keep pushing it. Right? Like whatever that edge might be. Like, don't pigeonhole yourself thinking that this is the thing that's going to work for me. Just continue to experiment, and when you find patterns that work for you, or setups that work for you, or trade styles that work for you, then just start honing in on that. And don't get the notion, like some traders are like, oh, I'm just going to be a breakout trader on big caps. You never really know what's going to work for you. Or I'm only going to be a swing trader. Like, maybe you're a good scalp trader and you don't even know it. So just, you know, had that kind of attitude and an open mind. Oh, where'd the other super chats go? We had 2 more. I'm going to find them again. Jason, appreciate all the knowledge you share. I've learned a lot from just watching you trade. Thank you so much, Jason. And big smile, just tuned in. Is Fahad back? I hear someone claiming incredible feats of athleticism. Fahad is not. Fahad could apparently dunk and shoot 94% foul shots.
In my opinion, Ramin's is much more impressive.
Well, of course.
I'm serious. Making the nationals?
Going to senior nationals, we had a Goat, who was the track star
Fahad
at our
can dunk,
school.
who cares?
He went to junior nationals, but that dude was like, he was so fast that if he had his family was from India, if he had simply taken his citizenship to India, he would have represented India at the Olympics if he wanted to.
You're talking
Canada. But here in Canada, like right. you got to be a little bit better in track and field to be number 1. And like he never went to nationals, and this dude was legit. I went to university with him. Like he was a beast. It's legit.
He was not as
going
legit as Ramin.
Well, my cousin finished 6th at national. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. But let it. There is no. Okay,
Ramin,
she's saying some other stuff.
You don't have to justify it to me.
Bears versus Bulls just said when race. Neil Roberts. And the only reason I'm gonna answer this. And Mr. Westermeyer is also saying, did you ever race Fahad? The answer is no. I told him anytime, any place. Obviously, if he showed up right now, I wouldn't be able to because I still have yet to run after tearing my Achilles. But I have physio tonight. And one of the things I'm going to ask my guy is, I'm just going to say, what do you need to see from me that I can start jogging?
Right.
Because I feel like you haven't given me the okay yet, but I feel like I'm getting there. So what do I need to do? What do I have to prove to you that I can start trying to jog at least so I can get back to running? Because I'm gearing for it. The weather's starting to get nice. I'm like, I want to get out there.
Great.
Fahad never raced me because I said just show anytime, man. I didn't even need proper shoes. I go, whenever you want to do it, we'll race. And it just never happened. I'm just saying.
I just don't want to see Achilles tear apart too.
No.
You know, that's.
No, I'm not gonna.
I think you got to make sure that it's all healed up before we do that, because Fahad will come tomorrow, so we'll just wait for that to go. And Fahad was also an Olympic sprinter, so you have to forget about that.
You did say he could beat you.
No, okay. So, all right, let's just keep going, man. I know a lot of you are here for the trades, a lot of you are here for the talk.
Yeah, just an update. I've covered some more intel because it didn't get to VWAP. But it did make a nice pullback, but kind of holding these higher lows. So when it did that into 85, I just covered another leg. I'm now just sitting low of the day. I was looking to reload it. Remember I said above VWAP in the 24 to 24.10 range. It just didn't get there. And with only about 30 minutes to go, we have, see, this did this yesterday as well. Ford was a 9 million buy yesterday and then a nothing burger by the time we got to 350. So I'm going to write that off. And I think this CRH did the same thing. OFXI, that's an early look buy. There were a bunch of big imbalances early, and then none of them were that big. And it's all the same names from yesterday. I remember ChargePoint was there, HPE was there. I don't know about GM. So I wouldn't be terribly concerned with these rather large imbalances that you're seeing, because we saw the same thing yesterday, and none of them actually at 350 came out this big. So we'll wait around. Nvidia had a 2 million, I think, before pairing off, and that was a small opportunity. So we'll look at that in about 20 minutes or so when the imbalances jump out there. Will trade for food. I love that name. This is one of the best
Most
names.
traders would do that.
Will trade for food. Well, essentially that's what you're doing because you eat with the money that you make. That's the first thing you do. You got to be able to eat and you got to have roof over your head. I was a hood sprinter and my hurdles were fences. Legit. It's hard to hurdle a fence though. Like most fences, you like a high jump over.
I mean, it depends if you're a high jump champion or not. I mean, there's all these different things, you know. I mean, when you're genetically capable of going to nationals. Oh, man.
American fences are short, Canadian are high.
American fences are short. I know there was women's hurdles are much lower than men's, right?
Yeah. I was a hurdler. They're definitely.
Yeah.
They're
So,
lower. To be honest, they're actually too low.
I'm just really glad that Ramin didn't make nationals because you know what? If she did, she could be like a Canadian basically hero at this point. If she had won nationals. I mean, obviously she made it, but if she had won, then she wouldn't be here switching for us.
Well, that's true.
And doing all the videos and everything like that and providing this great entertainment. So I'm, Ram Ram could high jump those fences. Yeah, you're right. We'll trade for food. Yeah, right there. Okay.
I'm going long Nike. Sebastian going long Nike now. There are signs.
Are you guys going long? So how do you guys?
Into earnings? Are you playing options, Sebastian?
That's what I was going to say. Let us know in the chat.
You're taking equity long here or? Leo, I'm just kind of curious what you're doing. Because the one thing, I don't like going into anything in front of earnings But at least if you make an options play, you could limit your downside. I
Right.
just feel like
That's the thing.
yeah, like, and then if you try to set a stop or something like that, trading the equity, you run into the large problem of slippage in the aftermarket because I don't know what's Nike's expected move. Like the support on the daily is like 5% away from where we are right now.
Right.
So stops on equity are going to be could be incredibly useless for you in the equity trade. But yeah, I'm just curious what you're doing over there, Sebastian. I mean, Nike obviously one of the big names reporting. Micron's supposed to be right at 4 o'clock, by the way.
Yeah. I'm ready to go. So Joe and I we'll be over there.
And then FedEx as well is supposed to be right away. They're always right at 4 o'clock or very, very close to it.
We'll drop that package down.
Oh, you were kidding, Sebastian. Okay, never mind.
Oh, he's not.
I thought you were serious that you were like going long Nike.
So was I. I thought that was legitimate. I mean, that's why I was.
We've had people say that before.
The minute you asked about it, I was wondering if he was doing options as well because I think there's risk to, like, I think for $500, play money or whatever that might be for you guys. I think for an option, I think that's fine because remember, guys, all options as we have option Joe. We can talk to him about that. Maybe Joe, if there's an option. Do you want? What are you doing now? Oh, journaling. Okay, I was gonna say maybe if there's anything that you see on Nike where the walls are or anything like that. All right, so Joe's gonna have a quick little look. He's just journaling some of his trades. So that's good. Thanks, Joe, for doing that.
People wear jackets inside. It makes you think they're ready to break out. Like, should I be ready to leave or something? Like, he's wearing his jacket indoors. It's not that cold in here.
Oh, no. Well, it's getting cold now, but yeah, definitely. I don't know if he's wearing that for coldness or not.
Jorge Alvarado, Micron a buy at 85 again?
It's like Joe wears glasses for style, you know? Like, so maybe the Joe, the
What, those are for style?
Yeah,
You don't need glasses?
No, man.
Oh, I didn't know that. I assume that. Jorge, I hope so, because that's been one of the easiest levels in any of the chip stocks. Micron buy 85, Micron sell 110. It's been doing that since August of last year. Buy 85, sell 110. Buy 85, sell 110. Buy 85, sell 110. How many times have you gotten away with this? Now that I've said it, jinx.
Never.
It'll either lose 85 or blow everyone out. But if it blows everyone out on the 110 short, I feel like, come on, man. Like, it's right there. Like, you probably, if you lose on the 85 long, at least it's a solid company. You probably are not going to feel too bad about it. But if you get blown out on an obvious breakaway short when it's very close to the top, I mean, I don't know. But it's a clear pattern. Yeah. So if it gets down there tomorrow, like if they have a bad print and there's Micron down double digits at 85, is that an SSR play? 100%. 100%. I almost don't care I don't care what the earnings are. Like that's a rebound play off a major level, and it would be SSR. So I would take it, and hopefully not bungle it like we did the Reddit one 2 days ago. That sucked. That absolutely sucked.
Reddit was, and again,
it did a clean bounce, 105 to 112, and I was down on the stock. So, and that was the play I was looking for. So that's when that happens. It's just like nothing about your day is ever going to be, even if you made money, because I was up that day, I was like, that was a horrible day. Because that was the trade. This was the one, and whatever. But and I talked about this in the lesson of the day, that what I should have done that didn't do was, so that I didn't miss the entirety of the move, is be willing to nibble in when it's showing signs that it's going to work, and not wait for that absolute trend confirmation when it's going that fast. Like, I needed to nibble into something so that my ad wouldn't have been at a ridiculous price, but instead, my initial entry was such a bad price that I didn't have a place comfortably to add. So next time, nibble in. And we nibbled in Palantir in the short today, just to change it up.
Yeah. We on Palantir, that was my too bad womp womp name right there. We'll be up on Palantir, but I shouldn't have got stopped out. At that level. All right, let's just see what's going on with Nvidia right now. We'll just turn our attention to maybe something that's moving around. 338 right now. We can have a look at Tesla. Tesla's back down to 234, so we could have obviously held some of those shorts, but we did not. All right, so Nvidia, same kind of ways, man. Right at VWAP right now, but the thing about Nvidia is I'm not going short this name. It's up 0.77 today. So if this market decides to go for a run, Nvidia would be the one. I think that what we've really missed out there is going to be the TQQs. So anybody looking at the futures, you just had a great opportunity again. We had sort of talked about this when we looked at the NASDAQ earlier about, drawing some sort of a trend line. Now, we do break it right there. We do not have the new higher, lower high because we break that high right there and get up there. So that could have been a good long area, but the thing is, it's also the 200 period moving average. So this is a little bit of a tricky spot for me anyways for the TQs because you do break that trend, but then now we're trying to form another one where that wick is basically matching up here, 6180, 6170. So you do have some good opportunities right there to have shorted this market and brought it right back in. So that's probably, not probably, it looks like it is going to be a decent level in there for this trade, 6180. I'm not looking for it to break long there, just if you are looking for a short, I would stop out if we take out 6180 at any time today. So that would be a little bit of a look there. We're not too far away. So just commenting on traders that may be long or short and just trying to figure out what their plan of action is exactly. So that would be mine at those levels. So take it for what it's worth. The thing is that Neil and I are grizzled vets. And the thing about that is that, we're like John Tavares over here. We got William Nylander over there with Joe, of course, just signed that monster contract and leading the league and leading the Leafs in goals over there.
Nylander's awesome.
This guy. Yeah. But anyways, what I was getting at the end of the day is we are expecting tomorrow is quad witching. It is the S&P 500 rebalancing. So that's a little bit of a problem for closing trades in the fact that there's going to be a lot of extra volume coming in at that time. So if you guys are looking for some trades, and yeah, Joe probably, that's a good point, talking about volume, talking about options expiration and things like that. So join the midday tomorrow where they'll be talking about this, but you're going to get a lot of volume at the end of the day today and then a lot of volume tomorrow into the close. And we have spreadsheets. We know DoorDash is on there looking to go one way. I think the Mag 7.
DoorDash and Apollo, those are the big buys.
Yeah, and then what was the other one? What got punched in the face? Coinbase didn't get added.
Coinbase didn't get the ad that everyone was expecting.
Yeah. Oh, it was Robinhood. Was another one.
That was one
there. So there's been some disappointments in that round, but at the end of the day, we'll look to see what's being added and deleted, and we will talk about that more tomorrow.
Last quarter, there was supposed to be a rather large. A lot of the big caps. A lot of the big caps were expected down weights, and there were supposed to be big sells, and came out buys. Like the other direction, and we're just sort of they eventually dumped, but like there was a kind of a counter trend trade that you could have played. Broadcom's supposed to be a big down weight. I think it's Broadcom, Meta, and somebody else are the three biggest big cap.
Yeah, let's do.
I think it might be Apple. Tomorrow I'm going to have the spreadsheet and I'll be able to go through all of this. I just didn't look at it today, to be honest with you, because it doesn't really matter until you get to the day of, but there should be some big opportunities.
Yeah. We were talking about it yesterday, but as you mentioned there, you never know.
Yeah, you absolutely never know. It's not always like Palantir where it's getting added to the index, it's supposed to go up, it comes out of buy and it goes up. It's not always
Palantir only goes
as
up.
Simple as that.
It doesn't. It goes both ways.
Oh, yeah, we were supposed to check the expected move on Nike. Sorry. Sebastian was asking.
No, it was 8.5.
Oh, you did have it, 8.5%?
Is that right?
It?
It's 8.05, something like that. I did have it up. We did talk. Want me to find it? Okay, here it is right here. It's I'll tell you. I have it right here. It's 8.
Yeah, you're
exactly.
right, 8%.
Yeah, so
8%, Sebastian.
8. So
that's under support.
Yeah, we'd like to see that. We'd like to see an 8% move one way or the other. I think if it's an 8% move down, then we're going to be looking at $65, $66. That could be a situation. All right, we're flat. And why? We talked about that already, looking at those imbalances. If there is anything you guys want to talk about, we're here to do that. JP Morgan, some of the, whoopsies. See, this is where I bought JP Morgan. I actually bought it in Canada. So this is the CDR. So shout out to CIBC. We've had CIBC on here a couple of times. As you can see, very liquid. But no, so it's liquid in the way that you're going to do it here, just not too much trading. It's only 126,000 shares. And a lot of that seems to have been done right here in one block at the high of the day, basically 31.90. So
I don't think anyone's outside of their long-term accounts. And
No, it's not like a scalping thing. Well, you could. Again, so this is JP Morgan. Let's just look at a name like Meta, right? So again, Meta, as we know, is $600 in United States. Here it is, $32. But it will move the same. So these are like ADRs, like you see with Alibaba. So that's listed there in Hong Kong, but yet can be traded here on NYSE. So Canada, if you guys are part of, then you can trade All of these names here with Canadian dollars. This is Nvidia. So look at Nvidia today, right? Obviously a lot of liquidity here. You're basically getting no slippage. I would actually say slippage is less on this than it is on this. And the reason why is that in any second here, this thing could drop 10 cents, and you're thinking you're getting 50s. Next thing you know, you're getting 40s. Obviously, if you put a market order, you'll be fine. But this is just a little more aggressive. You could see as odds going to be the same percentage-wise, up or down. So I actually want to look at JP Morgan in New York. Obviously got sidetracked there looking the other way. But okay, so here it is right here. What do you think about that? JP Morgan up 1/4 point. I like banks in this environment. We sort of talked about that. We'd like to see rate stability, and it looks like now with only 2 cuts projected in 2025, and then another similar amount there in, hold on a second, I gotta, okay, did not get filled there, but okay, I was looking to see about the banks. So we did buy JP Morgan and we were pretty good. I don't know what percentage we're up, but we had made a good call on this. I was not expecting this to be up 5 or 6 straight days, and I actually thought it was down today, so kind of lucky to look at it and see it being up. But again, JP Morgan, good stock, good dividend, the best of the best. And I mean, we talked about Michael Noss and all these guys. A lot.
That's the one.
Right, a lot of people, including Michael, and whatever. I talked to him about it on Friday, or no, that was Raider Trader on Friday, whenever last time I was with him. And it was last week because you weren't here. So I think it must have been Monday. And it was just like, this is what happens. And he's mentioned it, like it happens all the time. You get breaks and they're not good, and then you got to manage your position. So I don't know where these guys are in or out, but at the end of the day, like even if you went long at 52.25, it's only at 49. Like you're not actually down that much. And part of making a call is making the call. So, whether or not you bought there or you bought down here.
I should have bought XLF last week.
Yeah, if you're in, that's what I mean. Like if you're in these names, right? It's like a Walmart that's coming back into these levels. These are banks. So if you believe in them, then.
Well, I bought XLF late last year.
Right.
Because I've decided, I've only ever owned CIBC, my bank, TD, which is another Canadian bank, and then Morgan Stanley. But I've stopped buying any of those, to be honest with you. Well, actually, that's not true because I dividend reinvest in the Canadian ones. But I stopped buying the rest, and I'm just buying XLF now. So I should have bought that dip last week when I was in Florida. I bought some stuff on the dip, but that's one I didn't. Intel, okay, I know I said the short's above 24, but it's 346, so I just put a trail on and just said I'm getting out if it breaks this local high, which I just did. Maybe there's an imbalance trade and we get a pop and fade in Intel, but we'll call it a day for that. With only 3 minutes to go, hey, look at that. Remember we said that big imbalance, there were all those ones that were close to 10 million, probably not going to be anything. It looks like Ford was a bit fugazi. That 8 million is gone. FXI is there, but we've seen this before. Usually amounts to nothing when there's an imbalance on FXI, an early look at least. CNH, I never know what the deal is with that, but it didn't move yesterday, so I don't expect it to move today. In 3 minutes, you're going to see that populate as well. And Dan, the man, can we review XOM? I know Randy's not here. Randy's the XOM guy.
Is he?
Well, I don't know. He's always saying he loves XOM.
Yeah, but as far as reviewing something.
Oh, no, I mean, all of us can look at the chart. I'm in Chevron. It's finally starting to go. Energy's been a tough play. It's been a tough road for it, but they're finally starting to look better. So I think you're good to go. Like the 105 level, for Chevron, for myself, it's been the 141 on Chevron. It's just been support for a while, and you've had the same thing at about 105, and you've been good to go to buy. It just hasn't done much, but now you're finally starting to break it out. Just remember, it's been very range-bound, and when people start worrying about potential recession or whatever percentage they're putting on, if it's more than it was before, then that can weigh on these guys a little bit. But I like where it's going. I think you can get back into those highs just because you said it, and I haven't looked today or yesterday. I didn't even look at Chevron for myself. That's probably doing a similar move. Charts are slow this afternoon.
Are they? Yeah.
Well, mine is.
Well,
so there's that one. So remember I was saying 141's been the good buy zone on Chevron? Actually, 148's been good too. I've just liked the 141. And same thing. Like you cannot, these names have not been able to break out the top. So they've just been range bound, but you're now looking like you're trying to make a breakout. So I think, if you were swinging these, there's nothing wrong with taking a little profit out in front of the high and then waiting to see what happens next. I always just buy it and to hold it because that's how I like to roll. So
is it raining out there, my guy? Okay.
I hope it's not raining.
Yeah, it's starting to. So we're going to go back to like 30 degrees again. It was beautiful here. We were up to like 19 Celsius yesterday, which is like 72, I don't know, something like that, 70s. And then now today we just chop in half. It's actually pretty windy out there. It was anyways when I was out earlier. Oh!
One of my neighbors took their winters off, and I'm like, yeah, there's gonna be one more little cold
I think
spell.
I'm taking mine off.
Man.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. I give you,
Will I win my roll up the rim?
let's do it. Yes.
I can't even read this. Ask perplexity. All right. I'm not, it doesn't.
You're not asking for perplexity.
No. All right, let's see. Neil said yes. This is the first time that you've said
I've never
yes, so
I've never said you'd win. I always say you won't.
Oh, damn. Do you think it's actually a winner?
Yes.
Though? It is a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Well, Frank, that would you
Is there respect
donut?
in that?
Donut or
coffee, man. Donut. I don't want no win no donut. The good thing about the coffee is, of course, you can get any drinks. There it is.
Donuts,
it is your chicken dinner winner, man. We haven't hit this animation in a long time, so congratulations to me. I just won $2. I mean, that's great. But this is how excited we get. Okay, we only now do have 10 seconds. Like here I am throwing these hundreds of shares, whatever, at the market, and then we have that. But we're a content creator, so right there we'll create content with Roll Up the Rim. Okay, here we go. 2 and 1. We are now out right now. Let's go see. Someone mentioned Broadcom. You mentioned that earlier as a deletion tomorrow. So here comes
deletion to downweight.
Downweight. Okay, yeah, sorry, not deleted, obviously.
I hope
Broadcom right there with a buy today. So that's starting to go a little bit upside. Yo, what's up, Robin? Robinhood going to the upside right now. $43 and change. So that's trying to go up right there on a buy. You don't normally see millions here. I thought we'd actually see a little bit more. As you can see, Nvidia's with a decent sell as well. So that's starting to head to the downside. But look at this, man. Nvidia's already paired off. Yeah. So this is what we can't see the early reads on the NASDAQ, which kind of sucks for us because if we could, then we could really sort of analyze this a little bit better. But for right here, right now, it looks like Nvidia was 23 million to sell. And it only has right now 3 million left. So Kathy Wood et al. Came in. And why do they do this? So it's 23 million shares to sell. You add this plus this. Now there's going to be more coming in as the imbalance grows or shrinks here into the close. The imbalance is open right now. You can add to it. So it could go either way. But that means that there's going to be a print at the end of the day that is going to be 30 million shares. So if we look over here and you're going to see our volume, there it is. Let's just see. So like these are 44 million shares, 5 million shares right here, one wick. So, you know, other than the open, which is 28 million shares, you know, you don't really get these huge opportunities. So you can see, look what the buy does. Now I'll close this down. So look what the buy does in the morning, right? When we're talking about that, there's the huge buy imbalance, really ranks it up. If someone in there, let's just say this, just making fun, but let's just say it was ARK Invest or something like that, that wanted to sell 23 million shares of Nvidia. They can't bring that to market because if that gets to market and they market these shares down, then it's going to drop $5 or probably not that much, but whatever it's going to drop, it's going to drop. And they're not going to get price equilibrium. They're going to get a horrible price. And then as soon as that sell is done, then people like us, algos will come in and be like, what was that drop for? I mean, just here's a perfect example. Look at Palantir, man. Someone sold this in to that Hegseth news. We sat there, got a level that we like, boom to the upside, right? So that's what's going to happen. So right now, Nvidia at the close is going to have, again, a 23 million at least in balance that's going to print, but it's going to print right at the bid or the ask because this is an agreed upon price. So whatever that last closing price is will be executed for 30 million shares. It'll be 15 million to you, 15 million to you, and that's that. So that way, everybody gets that same closing price. There's a lot of studies, you know, VWAP or whatever that where you're using that closing price. So anyways, a very important number to look at. And tomorrow,
Nike's already going down.
Tomorrow we'll see a monster number. Okay, you're looking at Nike there?
Nike just lost the low of the day here. Down 1.7%. Nike after the bell, I believe 4:10. FedEx 4 o'clock. Micron 4 o'clock as well. But yeah, Nike kind of taking it on the chin here. But hey, maybe it's just going to be an opportunity. We don't know.
Taking it on the chin. How much is it down?
It's only down 1.7%. On the day though.
No, but I mean in the last.
on the day, it's just been trending the entire,
Yes.
all day long. There just hasn't been a bid on the stock. Like even with the market bounces to VWAP, Nike makes a fresh low. That's sort of the thing. Like it's just very clearly relatively weak. Not much you can do about it there. The other one's going to be Micron. I guess people care also about FedEx. FedEx is more of a let's just see how they're doing because they're a good bellwether more than anyone ever trades. No one actually trades FedEx. Let's be real. I don't think anyone trades FedEx. Micron's going to be the other big one. Very range-bound stock. I think it's going to be pretty simple on Micron because it's been showing you the range. All you got to do is react off of 85 and 110. Ideally, it breaks this sucker out and you're long over this tomorrow. But if it goes down, I know I'm going to want to be a dip buyer on the day trade if it gets down there. It's just way too good of a level not to. So as we said, the imbalances weren't gigantic, and any ones that are here, like Nvidia's 3 million now with a monster pair of 20 million, as Sean pointed out, it's probably going to flip in the next 30 seconds or so, and you'll see that 3 million gone, and then Nvidia will probably do at least a little bit of a move to the upside, I would suspect. A lot of times it flipped right before. There it goes. It went from 3 million to 1.9 just now, so it's already flipping before 355, Sean.
Flip-flop, our friends that trade the pool. I mean, the good thing about trading, you could wear flip-flops, are back to Trader TV Live. Trade the Pool is a game-changing platform that caps your risk while giving you the opportunity to trade real shares using, of course, company capital. So check out this ad on your screen right now. Make sure you do scan that QR code as well. Means you're not risking your own capital. That's what the whole idea is, trading company capital. Trade the Pool now offers unlimited trading period, an unlimited trading period during the evaluation phase. No pressure, no rushing. Take your time, perfect your strategy, and get funded on your terms. Make sure you do select that. Look, 10% off. Scan that QR code right now. The profits are endless, and also are the losses. But again, what they're being capped, you do have a risk management system in line, and that's what, exactly, and that's what we talk about here all the time. We talk about the risk managers on the floor. We've got Wayne, we've got Brankles, we've now got the man, the myth, the legend himself. Lars is on the floor managing risk as well for the campus program. So there's lots of stuff happening, and again, like that's what we're just proponents of risk management, and that's because we've grown up on a prop floor, where it's paramount to manage your risk and make sure that you do take trades that are of higher probabilities, and that's what this can help you do. We have a lot of people, Neil, every day.
Nvidia flipped and did go up.
Oh yeah, okay. So man, let's.
Not a huge move, but I mean, yeah, maybe you could have had 40 cents. I don't know. It's like we said, it wasn't a big imbalance. The thing about that in Nvidia, if it was like 5 or 6 million to sell and flipped, then you could get like a $1.50 move. But with that, like what's capturable is not the entire wick because the algos eat up the first bit of the trade. So you're probably at best getting in here and then maybe getting out there, which is like 50 to 80. So maybe you could have had like 30 cents on that type of a trade. But that's the kind of thing we'd look for if it was a bigger imbalance on Nvidia. BG says, look at Apple.
Did Apple's imbalance?
Oh, Apple must have done a flip, but Apple wasn't on the locator. So Apple did do a $1.50 move. I don't recall seeing Apple as a large imbalance, and I don't see it as I scroll down, nothing over 1 million. So it might have been a more reasonably sized imbalance that flipped at 55 from sell to buy, and then that's the kind of wick that you can get. That's what it's all about. I didn't notice Apple. Maybe it was on there and I didn't see it as a sell, because that's what you look for. And we generally will look for it on the bigger cap NASDAQ names. There was a time when most of the best closing trades were about like the NYSE, and I think now it's like with all the Mag 7 being on the NASDAQ and the NASDAQ being the index that everyone wants to be. I don't want to say everybody, but usually everyone wants to be on the NASDAQ nowadays. Like look at Palantir. Like it's just that's been where the juice is.
Well, you can get added to the NASDAQ 100. The thing is the Dow doesn't. Yeah. They have the Dow 30, but included in that is NASDAQ names as well. There's not like an NYSE 100. Maybe they should do that. I mean, why is someone not created that?
Yeah.
I was about to throw out my cup because I'm so used to doing that. But right now, wait till my wife hears this. I've never won one of these.
Never.
Well, this round.
Oh, this round. Okay.
Yeah, this round. So.
Could you imagine that? Like.
All right. Yeah, I got to get out of here. All right. Joe's waiting for me. We're gonna have Nike. We're gonna have Micron. Watch out for that, man. We're getting locked and loaded. So Neil will take us in. Only 2 minutes left. Yes. So maybe the high jumper can hit the bell. I don't know. It's pretty high up there right now. So
I don't think. If you were a national level high jumper, you could ring the bell you could ring that bell.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw that
ready
out
to go.
there.
Okay, I'm out of here. See you.
You can't anymore. Well, I'm not ringing the bell because I'm sitting here bringing you
Maybe
guys
Brendan will ring the
close.
bell.
Brendan could ring the bell. Fabian could ring the bell. Maybe we could have, Andre. You know what? I look over and Andre has the headphones on and is like locked in working. Andre is always, I never see him not focused. Like at some point, maybe he'll be caught sleeping. The dude, he seems to never get sick. We've talked about this. He's data, he's a robot, and he's always at his desk working, and it is what it is. Aldrin, you better believe it. Traders should always be ready for triple witching on Friday. It's more than triple witching tomorrow. It's the S&P quarterly rebalances as well. So you're going to have a lot of window dressing and a lot of it. You have a couple of big additions. You got a bunch of reweightings, especially on some big cap techs. Broadcom's expected to be a big down weight. I believe Apple's a big down weight as well. So we will be locked and loaded tomorrow for them. With less than 1 minute to go, as we take you into the close, I'm just going to have I think I'll have Micron up just because we're expecting them at 4 o'clock. I mean, FedEx as well, but I think we care more about Micron than FedEx. So now we got 20 seconds to go, so whoever decided that they're ringing the bell is going to have to get there in a couple seconds. There I see Brennan moseying on up toward the bell. Hey, it's been a wild one, but trust me, it's about to get a heck of a lot better. You're going to have Joe, you're going to have Sean in the aftermarket show. The countdown is on. There's Brendan right there, locked and loaded to ring it in 5, 4, 3, 2, and what up? Boom. And Micron is already moving to the upside. So big shout out to everybody, and we appreciate you. But Micron just went right to 105 with a big move. The numbers are out. I don't know what the numbers are, but they're already starting to fly to the upside. And this is why you have to be careful. Big mover for sure. We're going to have all of this live reaction, live quotes, and price action. You're not going to go anywhere because you got this FCX, and we're going to be at the desk. So don't do anything. It's the market recap with Sean and Joe right now. Go Micron.
Yay, trading. We're back, baby. Let's go, Joe. How are you doing, my guy?
I'm good, bro.
All right, Micron, go over to the screen immediately. We'll talk about Joe and how you're feeling. You got the jacket off. That's great. Look at Micron right now, 107. Oh, yeah. Nice little move to the upside right there. Right there immediately. A nice move, 103 to 107. Look, man, we were expecting 8%. It doesn't look like it'll get there, but we'll wait to see what winds up happening. It looks like we get 156 versus 142. Revenues 805 versus 789. Looks like Micron right now.
Dang.
Nice upside move right there. What does it look like on the daily, though, Joe? We've had some, Neil talked about it, 110 back down, 110 back down. So we'll wait to see what happens here with 110 coming into play right now. $1.56 EPS there on Micron right now, estimate of 142. So here we come to save the day. It was Broadcom last time. Maybe it's Micron this time. Get your DRAM now, as that's going to the upside right now. And here it is right here. 107.70. Oh boy, we're getting higher and higher right now. Micron starting to go upside. Beats by 10 cents, Joe. Revenue beats by 200 million. We're getting ready to rock and roll right now. Continuing higher. It is still pushing 108.50 right now for Micron. Anything you're seeing in these numbers?
Yeah. So what I really want to point out here, Sean, is that on the options chain, we are going to go over some expected moves here as well. You heard Katina Man say that we're looking for about 8.5%. I have 9.5%, so relatively close. But what I wanted to point out is at that $105 strike price, we have 14,000 open contracts. But then as we climb higher in the chain there, guys, at that 115 strike price, we have 18,000 contracts. So let's see how we react there. I don't know if we're going to go up to 115 right now, but we are past that 105 call strike price. So it's looking pretty good here on Micron.
Let's do something fun. Watch this.
What's the
It's a stock blitz. Let's go. We've got FedEx on board right here, on board right now. I was just saying, it's your boy Joe. It's Sean. We're ready to rock and roll here in the after hours. It's your market recap show, baby. And here goes FedEx. Looks like it does have that downside move. We'll wait for the numbers. Joe will parse through them. Once we get FedEx, we'll go. There's FedEx, 245 down to 235. Looking to get lower for FDX right now. So they are now out. FedEx has been beat up. I'm hearing $4.51. Looks like they'll miss missed by 3 cents right now on FedEx, 451 versus 454. Again, we'll wait to hear what's up with that. We'll hear what are we looking for moving forward. What is up with FedEx right now? Downside, down 4%, expected move 7%. FedEx catching a drift lower right now. And by the way, on the daily, man, we are busted. We're back down to March again. This is year to date, down, year over year, down right now for FedEx because we are bouncing off of that March 24 low. This was the low last year, this quarter, then we had a bump up. Full year 18 to 1860 versus 19. Ooh. So they are missing quarter. They're also missing full year guide. This is the risk heading into, look, we could all be like, we're saved. What's going on right now? The NASDAQ bumped up a little bit today, still ends up down. We will talk about the market. But what about earnings? As we come into the new earnings season, what is up with the guides? FedEx guiding lower, not great for the economy. This is the move right here, still lower. It looks like 235 is going to be in play. I'm hearing in my ear, they are talking about potentially spinning off FedEx Express. Yeah. We like spinoffs. Why, Joe? Because it unlocks value for shareholders. We saw that with GE as they released their aerospace and their medical divisions. We got shares in those and their power with Vernova. So that was a big move. We'll see what happens with FedEx still going lower. Let's check out its brethrens. Look at UPS. Downside.
Sympathy play right there, guys.
Do you like that?
Yeah, hey, man, it is what it is. We're going to the downside here in FDX. We're looking at about an 8.2% expected move, but they also did have about $500 million in share buyback over the quarter, so that may be a positive sign there as well, too, Sean. So we'll see what we got going on. We may exceed that expected move, so there's nothing stand out from an open interest standpoint on the options chain, so it is free-flowing, and that free flow is to the downside there, guys, on FDX.
Yeah, FDX not even slowing down, by the way. No. It's starting to go lower here, of what I just saw. Yeah, there it is. So we're actually starting to tick a little lower on FDX. Let's go find out what's going on with our boy Micron. Ooh. And again, Micron, better earnings, right? I think it was $1.54 versus 148 or something, but it's a nice beat right there. FedEx unable to provide FY25 EPS or effective tax rate. So I don't know what's up with that. That's just hitting right now. Whenever you're unable, I don't even think these companies should guide forward, to be honest with you, especially in this environment. Like, I would feel no kind of ways. Look at Micron. I would feel no kind of ways if a stock like Nike came out and said, we're not guiding. Because, like, how can you possibly guide revenues when you're not sure about tariffs? When you're not sure about what, like, we heard that, what is it, 40% of Vietnam? Mm-hmm. Like, what about if there's a tariff on goods imported from Vietnam? How does that affect the consumer? How does that dribble up to Nike and their earnings? But right now, FedEx.
I mean, one thing to note there, Sean, as well, with the guide, I think this is a good opportunity for companies to guide lower, and then come during earnings, you get that surprise, right? You get exactly. You get those surprises, and that's exactly what the street is always looking for in earnings. Is they want the surprise, right? So when you with Micron, you got that $1.56 compared to $1.47. That's a surprise. That's a good beat, and you can see this underlying asset really starting to climb higher and higher here, guys. So I think it's actually a good opportunity for companies to guide significantly lower, and then we get that surprise come Q1 earnings, guys.
I am a little bit worried here because as the shippers start to go to the downside, could be recessionary because, you know, why can't they guide? Why are they nervous about it? If we start to see the rails, the shipping companies starting to go to the downside, not great for that dreaded R word. Okay, other than that, and of course, we're talking about recess. You know, my kids love recess. I mean, what was your favorite?
The show recess?
No. At school.
Oh, yeah, gym.
At school, man. Yeah. Getting out to recess, that's like,
gym
man.
Class, science class.
You know what, now they can't even play with balls outside or anything like that.
That's absurd,
I know, it's nuts, right? My kids, we watched the movie Dodgeball, which is hilarious. You watched that? Yeah, one of the best movies. Yeah. And they're like, oh, man, we wish we could play Dodgeball. But
if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Remember Red Rover? You'd hold your hands. We'd call Joseph over.
Yeah.
And then you basically get concussed or whatever. And then the teacher...
we used to have to stand in a circle because we were so fixated on wrestling, so you would get speared out of nowhere by one of your buddies. So yeah, good times there. And we played a lot of foot hockey too. So it's just like keep your head up at all times during recess.
My kids were saying that my kids were saying that they need to wear goggles or something now when they're playing. It's so crazy. Like people are worried about getting hit in the face.
Yeah, like insane.
Okay, anyways, FedEx going lower. Let's get back to earnings and the show one more time. All right, lower on FedEx right now. I just heard a quantum name reporting. What quantum name is reporting? I'll look there. It's not going to be QBTS. Let's just go have a quick look on what D-Wave was up to today. D-Wave, not a great day, man. Down 18% there into the close. So QBTS downside again. That quantum moment today. Look, I'm over all of this. Like when I saw the Oculus and those glasses and they were really hype and Zuckerberg was on there doing all these examples and the stock got shellacked, I'm just like, you know what? These are all going to be sell the news. We saw that with Nvidia 2 days ago. We were short 119, it went to 114. Right here on QBTS today, all you had to do was be short all day and it was all good. So we'll wait to see what's going on right now. I heard something in my ear. If you guys, QUBT. Okay, that's what it was. So QUBT there with earnings. Well, that's the daily chart. Let me just go check it out there. So not much happening for QUBT, but thank you to everybody there in the chat for that. Let's go back over and check Micron. We are now moments away for Nike. So when that drops, we'll see what's going on right there. If you can, I can type it up and go find out what Micron was all about, but it's all the way down now. Let me just search by symbol.
Yeah, did you want the earnings report?
I was going to say, I just want to make sure because it was 156 versus 142. So I got that. The sales was 805 versus 788. Were you able to see a guide at all?
I don't see a guide as of right now. This is a 38% increase year over sales, 5.8 billion, the same period last year. I don't see anything. Oh, here we go. We might see some outlook here, guys. So Micron Technologies reported quarterly earnings of 1.56. No, not yet. But as soon as we get that guide, we will get it out to you guys there. So still waiting on Nike. Couple more minutes until that comes out. Looking forward to that one. How are inventories doing? I think that's going to be a key metric here in Nike, Sean.
Were you able to, I know you were busy there in the afternoon. Did you see any put walls or call walls?
On Nike?
Yeah.
So on Nike, we have a lot of open interest, guys. On the call side at 14,000, open contracts at 75, but we have a little bit more to the downside here, guys. 70 at that 70 strike price. 20,000 open contracts at that put. So look for a little bit of support there, guys. And then the exact same thing at 65. So let's see how those numbers come into play. About 18,000 contracts at that 65 strike.
It's very interesting because I want to go over to the daily chart here because Fabian and Joe, the 75 is right where the 50 period moving average is. So we'll see if we can get into that area. And of course, expected move. What's up, Fabian? Expected. Oh, you're wearing the Nikes today. You're on fanciness.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh,
yeah,
hey man.
Yeah, we've got the Air Maxes going on right here. Don't let the size of the shoe fool you.
We keep it classy, you know what I mean?
What do you mean classy? Come on, man. Come on, man. These are some legit shoes over here. We got to put them on. All right.
Shoe off, man.
Let me see what underwear I'm wearing. No, okay. All right, here we go. No, actually, I'm wearing these Lulu ones.
All right.
They're real nice, man. The Lulu boxers.
It's Lulu. It's the Lulu train.
Yeah, man. And I got the Lulu socks. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm really liking that brand lately.
It's good. It's good quality material, right?
I'm feeling a little
popular amongst
expensive pair. But, I just go on the discount racks. I go on that app. What's for sale? Figuring it out.
What's for lunch?
Well, who knows? Okay. We're talking about Nike and Lulu, so we'll wait for all that. Look, let's just quickly go over what this day had in store for us, man. I mean, it was a little bit of a disturbing day at some points where the market just kept on falling back in. But here we go. Let's go open up the Qs. So today the Qs again. They wind up relatively flat. We talked about that. They did have a decent day. But if you're going to look over here, and we're going to go over to like a 5-minute chart. And the reason why I said that is we had that huge move to the upside. This is why I was saying about a little disappointing there. And then we got right back to sort of where we were in the pre-market and then just fell off of that. And then we never really got going. Maybe at the end of the day, we tried to push a little bit higher. I'd like to see the Qs break this 480 level. If we can do that, then maybe we get back up to the upside. But on a broader scale, unfortunately, Trade Ideas doesn't have the NASDAQ contract itself, but it was the 20,000 mark that we got a little bit higher. Now we got about to 20,000. 300 or something, and then faded off that. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening with the NASDAQ and the NQs in general over the next little while. We're going to look up a stock heat map to look at what potentially was moving around here. Oh, we got disconnected from this. I'll have to get back into that on our trading view for the stock heat map, and that will load up in just 1 second. But as far as what was up today, XLE, we had some super chats about energy. We do like ExxonMobil. We do like XLE as well. Nice upside move there. And this has been a fun one to trade. We talked about it just a couple days ago, man. I guess it was about a week and a half ago, as we came into the levels. And I remember sitting right here on this desk and talking about just close your eyes and, you know, buy. Like, you don't have to understand always sometimes the macro plays, because you would think that with settling down potentially in the Middle East and then a potential deal with Ukraine and Russia, that maybe oil would be settling down and maybe coming back down to the downside and not getting that global risk in there, right? But apparently XLE and oil services nicely done to the upside. Here's USO clean. We still have, this is US daily oil. We still have a nice move to the upside that is about to happen, hopefully, if we break that 200 period moving average. So a lot of nice support down here for USO. So we'll wait to see if that can get going again. XLE, the names, XOM, CVX, that's what's in there, Valero.
Exactly. Well, I have something here up on XOM too, guys, that Obi mentioned a couple days ago. He said we are at a technical breakout level, and sure enough, as you see, we open up at the top of the range and have now continued on that topside trajectory, guys. So really, really good look here on XOM. Energy may be breaking out. This is a good buy. I know that it's really, really choppy, but when you see a breakout through key resistance level and that move is sustained, that's a really, really good look for the energy sector here, guys.
What's going on with lasers? Luminar right now, people asking in the chat. Look, man, me and Joe are all over this chat. We want to thank everybody for watching. Stay tuned for more, man. Nike is coming out in 1 minute. We're ready to go right there. Okay, here we go, man. This is what Lumen's doing right now. Again, LAZR, Luminar Technologies, a gap EPS of minus 126. So losing on that one, but expected loss of 250. So right now it looks like they'll cut that loss in half as lasers are firing out right now. Nice move to the upside right there for Luminar Technologies. Not necessarily saved by any stretch of the imagination. As you look at the daily chart, we are there right now. Nike is now out. Let's go see what's going on with that one. Oh, shit. We talked about this, man. Where was the risk? I said we like the calls. It doesn't mean it's going to work, but it just touched 75. It just touched $77 for Nike. Where's everybody in the chat that was talking about this? There it is. It's a nice move up there for Nike. As soon as we get the news on it, we will bring that to you. But there it is, man. No one's showing you this right now. CNBC's on commercial. So there it is, man. Nike all the way up right there to $77, but it just fell back down. North American revenue down 4%. China revenue down 17%. Latin America down 11%. I'm just hearing these all in my ear. We'll get that for you in just a second. Nike right there. Joseph nailed it, talking about $75. That looked like that was the high. But guess what? It's now doing this all over itself as Nike, whoops, fat-fingered itself all the way back to flat right now. I don't see the numbers yet.
Yeah, not some good stuff here, Sean. I'm looking at some of the numbers here.
EPS?
Yeah, I don't got EPS yet, but third quarter revenue was $11.3 billion, down 9% on a reported basis compared to the prior year. So year over year there, guys, 7% last year on a currency neutral bias basis there, guys. And what else we got? Nike direct revenue, $4.7 billion, down 12% year over year there, guys. And wholesale revenues, $6.2 billion, down another 7%, which we were down 4% last year on a currency neutral basis, guys. So tough look here on Nike. I mentioned time and time again, I don't see them on the social media platforms. No advertising going on. What's going on here? This athleisure wear is a tough space to be in, brother.
Lululemon?
I don't see Lululemon.
See Adidas?
I see Adidas.
I don't see any of them.
I see Adidas, Gymshark. You'll see Lulu once in a while, but I don't see Nike.
Aloe, maybe?
Aloe once in a blue moon as well, too. So, because all the influencers like to wear Aloe now and Gymshark. Nothing on Nike, guys. So we got to figure out what's going on with the advertising.
Yeah. All right. So right here, the report is 54 cents for Nike, beating 28. So that's a
good beat.
Win. Yeah. Sales. It's amazing we talk about, like, no one's buying this anymore. Sales of 11.27 billion versus 11.01. So beating on the top and the bottom line is Nike. What else do we want here? I don't even expect them to guide, but they will. So once we get that guide, we'll bring that to you. It could be horrible, right? I mean, you could have exchange rate risk as well. So currency risk in the name, that's for sure, as they repatriate that money back in to the United States. And then you also do have, of course, tariff talk for NKE, but looks like we might have been okay there, man. If you had bought Nike there, as everybody was like, man, who was talking about Nike buys into the close? But anyways, it's a nice move up. Options going to be disappointed, Joe, because it looks like we will fall short of that 8%.
Yep.
And look, when you're playing options, you're going to want to see a much bigger beat, right? So Nike right now comes out, again, hasn't been performing well. Nike down near the bottoms, but getting that boost up. Let's have a quick look at Micron. You know, the chip names have been okay. Broadcom had a great quarter. Now we follow that up with Micron. And of course, Micron's not Nvidia.
No.
Micron is DRAM. So we'll wait to see what's going on with Micron. But here it is, bang, with a nice report there. Micron up 6% here in the after hours, going 156 versus 142. It looks like a nice upside move today for Micron. Nike upside, Micron upside, FedEx. FedEx is the one there. Oh no, FedEx continues to go lower, down 5% today. Right now goes FedEx. We talked about that. FedEx is now underneath its year-over-year number. So March of 2024, we are now underneath that number for FedEx. And we talked about the shippers, right? If you're not, you know, if FedEx is going to report lower, what does that mean for Amazon? What does that mean for UPS? What does that mean for the rails? Okay, if FedEx is guiding and going lower, we have to be nervous about potential future sales. And honestly, that could hurt Nike. That could hurt the consumer, period. So we'll wait to see what happens with Nike, FedEx, and again, another smaller name, right? Luminar Technologies. So we talk about LiDAR, we talk about the lasers. Luminar, good name there. They're up. They're flat on the day, but a nice report to the upside.
Yes, sir.
All right, so that's earnings. Look, it's 4:20. We're not expecting too many more earnings today.
No, that's it, Sean.
And what you want to do now is pay attention to the call, right? Nike's call 5 o'clock, Micron's call right now at 4:30.
There you go.
So we'll see if we get some more movement on that one. But let's go over and just look at a few basic names today. All right. What was a relatively flat day? The NASDAQ started off great, but ended the day down 0.1%. You know what the part of that problem was? Apple. Apple today down 0.5%. Again, if we're going to have some problems with tariffs, when you're producing and making your phones in China, in Vietnam, and all over the place, you're going to have to repatriate that, bring that back. So currency issues and tariff issues. And look at Google. Google just spent $32 billion on Wiz. Okay, they are, again, cybersecurity. I think that's great, right? You got to protect. I have a Gmail account. We probably all do.
A lot of us
We
do.
want to have as much security in the Google platform as possible, but their revenues are $700 million.
You know what, Sean? I think that Google and Apple are really a lot more connected than people think. Google's spending $200 billion to be the primary search engine in Apple phones. Now, if the DOJ makes Google divest from Chrome, what is that going to equal to? It's 25% of Apple's service revenue. So that is why we can see this continuous decline in both of these names, and we're not getting that balance that we're looking for. So that's a hefty amount, 25% of the service revenue.
Like Warren Buffett is 96 years old, something like that. This guy dumped his Apple shares, right? Now Apple goes the downside. He's now sitting on the most amount of cash that they've ever been on for Berkshire Hathaway. And Berk B right now up 0.66% on the day. Berkshire is at all-time highs, sitting on all this cash. I believe they're in there buying now. We'll wait for their next report there when they divest and then let us know what they've been investing in and where this cash is moving into. So Broadcom down today as well. I'm hearing another report in my ear right now. Bitcoin 84.4. Okay. So Micron, again, are they moving a little bit right here? Let me just go back over to Micron. Oh, it was U.S. Steel that just came out. What did U.S. Steel do? Did they pre-guide? Okay, so first quarter guidance. Here we go. So U.S. Steel. Hey, man, we just said pre-guide. They just did it right now out of nowhere. So there goes U.S. Steel down 4%. We'll get the story right there. They provide an update on their first quarter guidance. U.S. Steel downside. Remember, U.S. Steel was involved with Nippon Steel as well, so potential buyout there. I don't know what the Trump administration is thinking about with this buyout.
Yep.
So we'll wait to hear from U.S. Steel. You guys let me know. Maybe there was something there that I've missed, but U.S. Steel, nice downside. On the daily, though, U.S. Steel really have done well for everybody.
Yep, I agree with you, and it's better than selling it to a foreign adversary there, I guess so.
I guess so. I mean,
Right,
we like
so-
Nucor. Nucor, the number one steel producer in the United States.
There you go, Nucor.
So we like some Nucor as well. All right, look, man, gold, all-time highs. Put it up for gold, man. Today, although gold slightly down today, we took out that $3,000 barrier. We've got into a little bit of gold here. We talked about that again. And remember, everybody, we're just dropping to you the facts. We're dropping to you these reports. If you want to know our opinions on buys or sells or anything like that, that's our own personal opinion.
Yep.
And just what we see, this is not financial advice.
No.
But I like gold at these levels, even though we're breaking highs.
Yeah, you like gold at these levels?
I mean,
Okay.
what's going to stop it, right? I mean, I know that there's a lot of people that have been caught on Bitcoin to the upside, you know, and now Bitcoin's coming back in a little bit. Even if gold fails, I think it's a little bit of a hedge against your current equity position.
And I agree with you there, Sean.
Yeah.
Especially gold is definitely outperforming Bitcoin year to date. So it's looking really, really good. I like that you mentioned that we are breaking out here as well. So and the key part is that it's that hedge against this macroeconomic environment, guys. And a lot of traders are turning into this ETF. That's GLD. So it's really nice up here. 282.50 is that high, roughly 281.70. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a pullback, but I still like it as that inflationary tariff hedge there.
Right. Exactly. So same way. And that's right. We only got into it a couple months ago. So we're a little bit late to that party. But again, nice move up there for gold. Shout out to our friend Peter Schiff, who's been absolutely crushed that trade. It's finally over 10 years, gold now catching up to the S&P. So that was a nice move right there. President Trump now speaking. We hearing? All right. So he's talking about a potential deal right now with Ukraine. He's talking about rare earth. He's talking about production in the mineral space and rare earth, both minerals, of course. So we'll hear what's going on there. Potential nice little bump there for metals and minerals. We talked about that. All-time highs coming through again for gold. Nike. Look, Nike goes right up to $75. A lot of people left Nike for dead. But let's just be completely honest about it. Whether or not you like the stock or not, if you're looking technically, we just came back to levels of great support. Nike right down there at $72, $73. That looks like it's going to hold. Will it hold tomorrow? We'll see, right? We're going to give it a shot, and we'll trade Nike tomorrow for sure. But it's a nice move. It's earnings there today. I think most people will be focused tomorrow on Micron. And why is that? Today, Micron with a nice move up. They're starting to go. Again, Micron up 6%. But remember, the implied move on options, 8%. So a little bit of a fail. I see a bunch of gentlemen on the trading. No Nikes right now on the trading floor, but that's okay.
No Nikes on the floor there, guys.
No Nikes on the floor, but that's okay. We're wearing them. Fabian's wearing them, so we got some Nikes on board right there. You know what was downside today, actually? The worst ETF today was China, FXI. So we actually had a nice little pullback down there in FXI today. Let's look at the daily.
I mean, rightfully so. It's been drastically outpacing the S&P and the NASDAQ year to date. So a pullback here isn't too bad. We had the likes of BABA gapping down. PDD reported earnings as well, too. So I guess this gap down is okay and justifiable considering the run that we've just been on there, Sean.
And I was going to say if you look at the MSCI Global World Index, it's up.
It's up.
You know, right now with the S&P 500 down 4% this year, actually here in Canada, believe it or not, we're up 2%.
Up 2%.
So I looked at that I just looked at it midweek today. So I looked at it, I think Tuesday, was up 2%. I'm not sure what the last couple of days have been, but we're relatively flat. So it's really just here in Canada, Mexico, like you would think with all this tariff talk, Mexico also up. So, let's check out EWJ again to see what's going on right here. This is Japan. So you can see this index up as well. EWZ Brazil, I believe, Yeah, that ETF, again, you can see nice move there coming to the upside. Change in the last 20 days, up 2% there as well. Year to date, change since January 1st. I would not have guessed this. Did you see? What do you think Brazil's up since January 1st?
Brazil, up since January 1st, 35%.
What the hell? 18. I thought 18% was good.
Okay.
35%. No, that's a huge move. It's up 18%.
Okay, there we go.
This is just year to date, though.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. 35%.
35% in 3 months would be huge, but 18%, absolutely.
Well, I mean, look at FXI. FXI is up close to 40% in that span.
Yeah, FXI, well, since Jan 1, 22%.
22%.
Yeah. So great move there. But yeah, we're just talking from Jan 1. But FXI, China's been absolutely rocking. Look, we want to thank everybody for joining us. We didn't have a guest today. We don't need a guest. Joe and I definitely put you through here. If there's any questions, if there's anything you guys want to talk about, maybe we're missing something, but so far so good there. A lot of ETFs today. Again, gold relatively flat. FXI the worst. TAN. For TAN, I like FSLR. I was just thinking about this. I don't look, as far as the stock is concerned, hard to look at this thing and I kind of laugh and say that I like it, but it's been really beat up. If you go over to a weekly chart, forget about a daily at this point, as we're crushed, right? But if you look at a weekly chart for FSLR, I always thought, and again, I know you're a Kramer guy, so am I a little bit, best of breed, right? That's something that he always talks about. I believe First Solar is best of breed, and right now, it looks like we're breaking below. I was trying to show you that we're actually holding on the weekly, but it looks like this goes all the way back here to basically 2023 of November. Looks like we're trying to break lower. I hate always going back and finding like data points, but it looks like if we're going to break below, this is some of these COVID levels of August of 22. You do have a gap high there. All gaps get filled. It looks like this one may as well. I don't believe in that. I'm just saying that that's what people say. 108. We're getting close enough to that level, man. FSLR needs to be bought. I think if the economy figures it out, we don't know, man. Maybe Donald Trump does have some funding for solar names.
Maybe.
We'll see, right? He signed one of those decrees. Is that what they're called? Going there as well. The other name that I wanted to look at that was at Lowe's, Boeing. Boeing I like, and again, Boeing, I had a bid very, very selfishly down here. I have a bid at 125. It did not hit that. But now I'm thinking right around here, 138, 139 again. If they stop using dish soap and all that to find their flaws, I think Boeing now can get through all of that and keep going. I like Boeing. We'll find out when their earnings report is April 23rd.
I just don't get it with Boeing. They have next to no competitors for the commercial airspace. You have Airbus, but other than that, it's just those two companies.
Embraer,
but no one. You go on a plane from wherever on the western side of the world here, guys. It's either Airbus or Boeing. I just don't understand how this company can't get their act together.
But you'd go, like, I remember when I went to London last year, Brendan, Neil, all these guys were like, would you even go on a Boeing plane? Yeah, I would.
Absolutely.
Like when you were just in Jamaica, did you even care what the plane was?
No, I don't even care. Just get me there.
Exactly. I'm with that as well. And actually, that plane that turned over on its side, I'm not even sure if that was a Boeing, but everybody was completely fine in there. And then they dropped 25 grand in everybody's account.
30K.
Right there.
Sign me up for one of those, I guess.
But anyways, I don't want to be in a plane that turns upside down. Don't get me wrong.
30K, though, if you say, hey, we're going to...
If I could guarantee survival, I'll take the 30.
Exactly.
I don't know, but then you might have some of that
PTSD there, yeah.
There it goes. All right, we're almost done. Let's go.
Let's go.
Roll call. Yeah, man, we're almost done right here. Look, we want to thank all 4,000 of you holding strong into the close. So thank you for doing that, man. I really appreciate Joe. Last minute. Oh, by the way, Joe, good luck tonight.
Yeah.
Playoff game.
Big playoff game, yeah.
Which number?
At Canlin. First game here tonight.
Canlin.
Etobicoke, yeah.
Etobicoke. Oh, man,
so
normally we're there. Now, catch you outside. Yeah. Okay, so I want to say a big shout out to Mama Brooke. I've never seen you here before. What's up, Mama Brooke? Pug Life as well. Stevenson ATN, thank you so much. You contribute a lot throughout the day as well with many cool points. Peter Built as well. YouTube, Bears vs. Bulls, the best, absolutely the best in the business. We want to say thank you for that. Anybody on here that you noticed that you've seen?
I don't have the chat up there, my friend.
All right, good job. All right, Bob S., Raul, TH, Mr. Easy Street. Oh! Your man is right there. Gwarev says what's up to you right there.
God.
So he stayed late, man. He knew Joseph was on, so shout out to everybody.
Traders stay late.
As well. Traders do stay late, and that's what we're talking about. We want to thank all of you, man. I mean, again, we have all the numbers first. So you want to come back here, no matter who's reporting, no matter who's on this desk. Joe, Sharif, Adara, Neil, it doesn't matter, Fabian, Ramin, all those guys, world-class high jumpers, whoever's on this, whoever's here, right, we can bring you the goods. Brendan, especially, I forgot about Brendan.
Yeah, Brendan.
Brendan could do it for sure.
Yeah.
But thank you to everybody for joining again. We wish best of luck to this guy
Let's
over
go.
here. What would you put the odds at? Are you guys like one of the, like, where's the rankings?
Yeah. So we're ahead. We're ahead in
Okay.
the rankings here, so we should walk away with this one, guys. But anything can happen in the playoffs. It's a round robin, so we got to go out there and play our best.
Okay, so you'll just play this team once and then
We'll play them. We'll play them twice.
Okay, cool.
And then so best 2 out of 3. As long as we win the first game, and then the second game, as long as they don't tie it, then we win the series.
And the team name is your team name?
Penalty 6.
All right, shout out to the Penalty 6 today and all those boys. So good luck.
There you go.
Take care of my guy Joe there today. So, all right, thank you so much to everybody for joining. Thank you to Bears vs. Bulls. No matter where you are, we want to thank you for joining. If you stayed up late, if it's early, wherever you are, stay safe. Thanks for coming. Thanks, Joe. Another one here.
There we'll
talk about this all again tomorrow at 8:30. So make sure you do join us. I just saw you're on Twitter now at Trader TV Joseph.
I've been on Twitter.
There we go. This guy's been on Twitter. I commented. We commented back and forth against each other the other day. So go follow both of us. We'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.
Ciao. Oh.